Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Welcome to episode 782 of the Giant Bombcast. Holy smokes, March is almost over. That means we're moving on to the fourth month of the year. I'm not mentally ready for that, but I am mentally ready because I, just like people with their levels of hype, I don't get hype, I stay hype, so I stay ready, and I'm ready for the Bombcast today. I'm Jan Ochoa, your host. Joining me as always, co-captain of the ship, Jeff Grubb.
I'm a slut for Zelda.
What the fuck?
There we go. That's right. Nothing but positivity all across the different aspects of the Bombcast. Jeff Bakalar speaking about the most positive person always on the Bombcast, brimming with positivity, oozing with positivity. He's going to combine it. So much positivity, he's going to phase through a mountain.
That's right. We're going up, no downsies in the new tiers of the kingdom. I've got the goop. I've brought the goop. It's green. It's sticky, and it only works on logs.
And speaking about goop, we've got the stickiest man in games media. Sticky in the good ways you can be sticky, I guess. Dan,
what's the best way? Hi, that's me.
Like the sticky bandits in Home Alone, right? You cover your hands in goop, and then you get change.
Okay. We're at the beginning of Hot Shots Part 2, where he's dipping his fists in the ice cream and candy
ice cream bar,
and the Reese's Pieces
Sundae
and
bar.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
I think about that scene all the time.
Can we get ice cream next week? Let's get ice cream next week. Nice ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting moment here. I'm in line to get the Zelda OLED right now, and I have to type in a verification code.
I'll do it
and
too.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
Let's
cool.
see. It's very exciting. I'll keep you updated here. I'll be the reporter here.
You didn't sound like you wanted it this morning, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm buying
but
it.
then Warrior64 tweeted about it, and I was like, maybe I should get one.
Wait,
So-
well, wait.
What about when he tweets about like
Frugal.com.
AC units?
What about AC units?
Like he's tweeted about like random miscellaneous things.
I don't have to get everything that he puts up, but it's a Zelda thing and it's a Nintendo thing. Why shouldn't I? Wait, can I not get this shipped? I have to pick it up? What the Sam hell?
Dan, you're
Go
a
on.
mark. You're right, Cyrus Raven.
Yes, I've been
Dan,
a
you're
Nintendo mark my whole
mark-ass
life. You
bitch.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
that is not a newsflash.
Yeah, that's the tragic,
No.
the tragedy here of being in Nintendo jail. Despite, I think all of us actually really liking Nintendo.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Me having a very
that's part of
love-hate-
why I've been so mad about being in Nintendo jail.
Exactly. I don't care.
That's
We're
why
in a
I've
lot
been
of
furious
jails.
for years about this.
We're in a ton of jails, actually, but that's the only one we care about. Like,
Yeah.
Some
Nintendo
jails
jail.
like happily in other jails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you for not sending me that.
Yeah. I was gonna say slut jail, but I didn't know how to work that in.
What the hell?
I
jail?
like this, and that's my Skinamax movie that I'm going to be watching later.
Yep. That's right. We're pivoting. We're pivoting into
lazy sound.
Slut Jail 7. Yeah, that's
lazy as
I
fuck.
definitely watched that on Skinamax as a teenager. So yeah.
Yeah, we're pivoting into Skinamax movies and Lifetime movies. So look forward to our suite of holiday movies releasing later this year. None of them really romantic, just bromantic, really. Like, oh my
beautiful.
gosh, you taught me how to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I love you as a brother. Or, wow, thank you for teaching me the dangers and glory of playing hockey. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Christmas spirit is alive in you.
That's right. And then the Giant Bomb Christmas tree will pop up. Fun will be abound, and each movie will end just like King's ending in Tekken 1. There's just going to be a bunch of FMV children just super duper happy to be there. Folks,
Guys, do I want this thing? I got it. They're holding it in the cart for 8.5 minutes, but I have to pick it up. They don't ship. So, like, do I want it this bad?
are you going to have time to pick it up?
Just have Dave Letterman pick it up on the way home from work or something for you.
Isn't it in your? I know it's probably the closest GameStop to you is what, like 73 miles
It's not
away.
GameStop.
So
It's Best Buy. I mean, I can get to it, but like, I don't want to leave.
this is actually this is the big fork in the road for Dan here.
Yeah.
This is like, oh well, if I have to leave my home.
If you had to bring this up, I feel like you don't actually want it.
You don't.
Okay. What about this? You drive there, and they bring it out to your car. Does that change anything?
It's a compromise.
I don't
You
want to
meet
drive.
halfway.
Okay. No. Right. I was just trying
But
to
also,
take
I
the
see
temperature
with
there.
tax and everything, it's like $382, and it's like I don't know. If I
Yeah,
want
you
that.
forget about tax, huh?
Yeah.
What about
yeah.
you? What about you Uber there? You tell the Uber guy idle, and then you just book him again to go home.
Why don't you task rabbit somebody picking it up for you?
There you go.
If that's
How
still
rare,
a
how rare do you
service.
think these are going to be?
maybe just
I don't care.
supply wise. I don't know.
Animal Crossing Switch was pretty plentiful after a while. I kind of want to say it's going to be pretty similar to that.
I'm backing off.
All right,
Wow.
everybody
Remove it from card. All right.
All right.
That's the end of
All
that
right.
tale. All right.
Here we go.
All right, guys. Have a great
Wow.
Bombcast. I'll see you.
Okay, bye,
There
Dan.
it goes.
You know, Dan, you're here on the Bombcast today, so I thought
Yes.
it'd be special because it's a holiday weekend coming up.
It is. It's the most magical time of the year.
It's the most magical time of the year. Maybe we'll pivot our Lifetime movies next season to also cover wrestling season, because now is like wrestling Super Bowl with Wrestlemania coming up. So, folks,
Yes.
if you're watching live, you're listening now, you're probably going to want to skip ahead if you're not into wrestling, because we're just going to be shooting all over the place.
No,
all
we're
the
all in
gimmicks.
this
We're
together.
shooting, brother. We're
No
shooting.
fast
For yourself,
forwarding.
motherfuckers.
That's right.
You
No
stick
fast
it with
forwarding.
us.
I stopped doing the timestamps because it took me a while, but maybe I'll do them this week. Apologies if that's something that is actually very important to you. So I thought we'd go over the WrestleMania card for night 1, night 2. Some of the matches have yet to be determined.
It's more than one day?
Oh, back.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 nights. It has been for the last 3 years, Backlar. Get with the program.
Yeah.
I dare say this is the best card in over 10 years.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna say since like maybe like Austin Rock.
Oh, since, 19 or 17 or 15?
Right.
Question.
Yes.
Can I
Go
ask
on.
questions? I'm going to have questions
Yes,
here.
yes, please,
Yeah,
please.
please.
Be,
Yeah, but
please
no
engage,
dumb
Mr.
questions.
Jib.
This is wrestling.
Yeah, come on, Jib. Yeah, go ahead.
Question 1.
Yes.
Is WWE like good now? Like, is it better? Like,
Oh,
It's been better than it's been
Yeah.
in quite
Yeah, Vince grew
a
a
while.
mustache and everything's better now.
Yeah.
is it better than well, I don't want to ask if it's better than AEW, but is it better than AEW right now?
Personally, I think they're two very, very different products at the moment.
Yeah. The best story in WWE right now is better than the best story in AEW right now.
Let's put it this way. WWE has been doing long-term storytelling that has been building to a really cool potential finale this weekend for like 9 months
such
now.
a
Or
mark.
actually, you might even say 2+ years.
I
Count the whole
agree with
Roman
Dan,
and
though.
Bloodline thing. And here's the thing. But on AEW, you can tune in on a random-ass Dynamite and with no build, just have a cold match between Kenny Omega and El Hijo de Vikingo, and it's one of the best
boy.
fucking matches I've
It's
seen in years.
It's
Yeah.
so good, yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Question 2. Which
Okay.
one has the ska guy?
Oh, Sami Zayn is
WWE.
WWE, and he is killing it.
Yes.
I'm on board.
Yes.
All right. The Canadian ska man. I think he also loves hockey.
Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah. And also, I'd say AEW right now, unfortunately, like, there's just a lot of drama. A lot of drama behind the
Real-
scenes, in
shoot
front of
drama.
the scenes.
Shoot drama. Shoot heat. Shoot heat.
A lot of heat. That is,
Yes.
maybe taking away from the product.
Well, can we just
Mox
do like
was on his wife's podcast today, Renee's podcast, talking about just how it's the most drama he's ever fucking seen. And he has seen some petty ass indie locker rooms. He has been at WWE for a long time during some dumb bullshit eras. And for him to say it's the most bullshit drama does not speak well to the locker. I have a feeling it's like 90% Punk, but anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we get the 30-second update on the status of Punk? Like, he's been in the headlines recently, but I've mostly just been ignoring him because now I'm like, oh my God, this fucking guy again. That's where
Punk
I'm at with
posted
him.
an Instagram post of just text where he called Jericho a liar and a stooge. I can't remember if he called out Moxley specifically. He said he thought his idea was dumb to base a championship angle on Rocky 3, which Punk is in the wrong on this one. And Punk's also the guy who brags about having never seen a Rocky movie. Punk, who else did he call out in the
Meltzer.
post? Meltzer's a liar. Yes, basically just called out a bunch of people. Nothing's ever his fault. Everyone else around him is the asshole. It's never him. And meanwhile, everything you hear from inside AEW is that everyone's like, no, that guy's an asshole. Like every locker room and every company he's ever worked for. So wonder who's right.
I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, who could say?
All right, boys, let's get to the WrestleMania card. Should we
please.
go through the undetermined matches as to which night they fall in first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Intercontinental Championship, we have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Backlar, who do you got?
Beef slapping extraordinaire. That is going to be some
Who's the first
red
guy?
chests going on. We're going to see chests bleed. I think.
Yes.
Gunther. He's real
yes.
hot.
I don't
He's
know anything
fucking
about him. I think Sheamus is due. Like,
Well, actually, yes.
his mic work has been really good. He has a presence. He's acrobatic. I feel like that's been lost in this since the days
Everyone says
of,
about Sheamus is how acrobatic he is.
Psychosis.
At 450 is beautiful. Yeah.
and Rey Mysterio Jr. It's been a long time since like the Jerry Flynns of the world have really been
Jerry
sort of
Flynn.
Like,
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
whatever. You used to really be into it, didn't you, Backler?
yeah, buddy.
Flynn.
I got okay. I got the scars and the Polaroid photos to prove it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Dean
take
Wilson,
Shane.
Backyard Wrestling, absolutely back.
Oh, there are tapes somewhere out there. There's
We've
a
all
tape.
got tapes.
There's a tape somewhere. Sheamus. I'm gonna go Sheamus.
Look up a picture of Gunther. Just look up this man. He is a giant Austrian who just slaps people in
Make
the
sure you
chest
put
hard as fuck.
WWE though.
Yeah, Gunther WWE.
Oh, look at this
dude.
freak.
He's fucking awesome.
He
What a
rules.
just stern
Yeah.
face. Like he
Yep.
is fucking. He's so good. He's incredible.
I'm a big
yeah, so-
Gunther fan.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude's a
large
beast.
person. What's the every time I die guy?
That's
the butcher
AEW.
guy.
That's
Does. Sorry.
AEW.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Carry on.
I just want to see some beef slapping. I like Gunther. Let's keep that reign going.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I want the reign to keep going, but I also want Sheamus to finally like tick off that box for titles he's yet to claim because he's
That's
just missing
true.
Intercontinental, right?
I think so. It's been such a cool late career. Well, I don't know. I mean, he could go for another 10 years. Who knows? But like, this far into his career for Sheamus to be so on fire for the last like year, he's really been invigorated. Like you can tell he loves working with the dudes he's been working with. That match at Clash of the Castle was a fucking instant classic.
Yes,
I just feel happy for Sheamus. That's a hard-working fucking dude. And he deserves all the praise he's been getting.
I need Big E to commentate over this match because that man loves big, meaty men slapping meat, and this
His
is
favorite.
the meatiest match, I think. All right, moving
Big E,
on.
Big E still hurt.
He's not actively wrestling. He's getting along, getting around fine.
Cool. Great.
Good,
Yeah.
good
Yep.
to hear. Next match, we've yet to figure out which night this is. This is Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match.
Rumor
Edge.
being we're getting Brood Edge, possibly Gangrel. So yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, that's the rumor.
Banging and banging, huh?
Banging and banging. Hell yeah. Vampire Warrior. Yes. We'll get the fire entrance again. I feel like we've gotten this like 4 times since Edge came back, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's still a really good theme.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is going to come out and kill these two.
Oh my
so,
God.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Vampires and demons.
every creator wrestler I had in like the PS1 video games all used the Brood's theme because it was so fucking cool.
Yeah. It's incredible. That'll be a good match. I mean, yeah, it's give it to Finn. Yeah, I think Edge it's cool. He has his retirement tour and his dream opponents and all that stuff. Big WrestleMania match. So it's not necessarily my favorite stuff. Like this is a super serious feud and everything, and lots of dark candle promos and stuff like that. Don't really do it for me that much. But
You need the Mountain Dew blackout match themes
Right,
to really
real
feel
drama.
anything
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Question: because of this Hell in a Cell, will this be like nothing but red light, or will this be like a normal Hell in a Cell match?
I would think normal.
Okay.
I think I can't remember the last time they used the actual red Hell in a Cell. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was just for the Fiend and Seth, right?
No, for a while when it was a dedicated pay-per-view, it would be an all red Hell in a Cell. But then they did the awful Fiend and Seth one. Yeah.
Well, sorry, John
No
Blood. All right, moving on the card, a fatal 4-way for the women's tag team championships. The team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalia and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
That is a let's get them all on the card match and slap a bunch
Yeah.
of people together and call them a tag team.
They're still trying to make Ronda Rousey work.
It ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
Her heart's not in it. Creative isn't doing it. Her ring work, nothing about Ronda. Has.
I know. It's just like, come on, let's move on. Turn the page. Wash your hands. Let's go.
I wish they would just fully invest in Ronda Rousey as Shayna Baszler, sorry, as a single star because her work in NXT was great. I feel like she could be a ruthless champ.
Great NXT.
I like Liv a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
Maybe Liv, Morgan, and Raquel, I guess.
And ultimately, it's just this is one of those things that no real build, no real.
Yes, all the
consequence.
stars
It's
are
just-
here.
Yeah. Speaking about let's throw them on the card, another fatal 4-way for a tag team match. We have Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
Just give me a dramatic WrestleMania moment where Otis finally realizes he's destined to become a male model.
100%.
Just has some catwalk moment with the maximum male models, and then betrays Chad Gable.
That's how this ends, right? That's how this has
I
to
would
end.
hope so. That's how I would.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I'd book it as well. Where Chad Gable takes the pin, he gets angry. He has to take himself a little bit seriously, but not too seriously. And Otis realizes his beauty.
Yes. And he has
Braun
like
Strowman. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he has like a Rikishi putting on the sunglasses moment where he realizes like, oh wait, I need to get, like instead of Rikishi needing to get funky, it's Otis needing to like, strut.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh. Yes, please. Please.
Yes.
Braun Strowman and Ricochet feels like Colossus throwing Wolverine. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see him throw
the
the other
fastball
guy.
special.
The fastball special. Yes, that's what I want to see.
Did this start because Braun was making fun of flippy wrestlers on Twitter, and then Ricochet shot back at him, and then they just shoved them together in a tag team? Like, I don't know.
I never understood that teaming, but like they seem to like each other a lot, or like they just seem like two bros.
Yeah, I really can't get into Braun stuff for the most part.
I liked when Cody picked him up.
Yeah, Cody should not be
with
doing
fire.
That. I know.
A week before
I know,
the most important match of your life.
Everyone said that, but the first comment I saw on Reddit for that one, where for people don't, sorry, Cody Rhodes picked up Braun Strowman, put him on his shoulders, and Braun Strowman's very, very, very big, and Cody Rhodes is coming back from injury, so it's like, oh, that's playing with fire. But the first comment was like, oh, you'd have to kill him to keep him out of this at this point, and I think that's probably right.
I think he proved that with the Hell in a Cell Peck thing last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, moving on to one of the matches that I'm most excited about. We have the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Mr. Backlar's favorite wrestler, Ska Man himself, Sami Zayn.
We
Hey,
we
Sam,
knew this is how it would go. Like this
Team
is the match
Sammy.
that we were gonna get. Yep. This is the one you can't miss, Bacalar.
I think this one's really cool because I know everybody was bummed about Sami not winning the title against Roman, but ultimately it's not like this is a forgotten feud or this isn't something they just threw on the card. Like there is a fucking story behind it. They have been getting like main event segments and huge crowd reactions for this feud with the Usos. And when was the last time like a tag title match felt like it had this much, behind it?
No.
Never.
On a Mania card especially?
Yep.
Poor.
No, this is great. We're getting two killer fucking matches out of one storyline that's been going on for the better part of a year. Like this is like kind of unprecedented. It's awesome.
It's really good.
Also, I mean, like the Usos are probably going to go down as one of the best tag teams in history.
No, already. I mean, they could never wrestle another match in their, first ballot Hall of Famers. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ. I've always every time the rumors pop up of the Young Bucks and their contracts, I just want them to leave for one match just to have it with the Usos. I can't see it working in my head immediately, but I just need it to happen.
It would work. It would be great.
Super kicks everywhere. All right. This is actually one of my matches I'm super excited about because of the prospect of the entrances. Because next we have Rey Mysterio versus ex-con Dominic Mysterio.
What?
One of the best fucking storylines, and the heat on Dom right now.
Oh
you
my
look at the
God.
numbers it's doing on YouTube. This is like globally, like people are invested in the story of this shithead kid.
The number one most downloaded character in WWE 2K23.
Bacalar. This is Rey Mysterio wrestling his son, and his son went to jail.
His son's hard.
Shoot jail?
He got
For
arrested
an hour?
for like he spent like an hour in a cell because they invaded his family's Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner, and they were butt heads, and they went to jail. But he came out with like a fucking teardrop tattoo and talking about prison changes a man. And
It's so good.
then he started cutting his hair like Eddie Guerrero and talking about how he wishes Eddie was his dad and not Rey Mysterio.
It's so
It's
good.
fucking good.
I
And
think,
Rhea's awesome. Yeah.
Bacalar, we should also mention when Dominic Mysterio was a child, custody of him was
Yes.
put on for a ladder match, right?
Yeah, it was the custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match.
Yes.
Like
Child
his custody
custody
was up
case.
there and they had to go
Yeah, it was
get
in a
it?
briefcase. Custody of Dominic was up in a briefcase. Yeah, it was at SummerSlam
So
05 or
stupid.
so.
I believe it was
No,
SummerSlam.
you're calling their family drama stupid? You know what they went through? This is imagine if you had to win custody of Dylan in a ladder match.
First
Versus
of all,
a very charismatic.
that's my fucking life every day. Number one. Number two, I've been down this road before. I watched like fucking Raven and Sandman like do something with the kid where like I don't know, there was all that dumbass
the
bullshit.
Kid did the Raven thing and the kendo stick,
right?
Yeah.
And like McGillicuddy was saying stuff. It's so, dude, come on. But it's all same show, right? You know,
this is fantastic. Bacalar hating Dominic Mysterio is one of my favorite things in the world right now. It's great. He is such a good heel.
He needs to come out in a fucking lowrider to Eddie's old music.
Yeah. Yes, it was like old like Eddie gear and
like
everything.
Latino heat.
Absolutely. Have Rhea be his China?
Oh, yes.
Wait a second.
Yes.
What's the age difference between father and son here?
Dom is like 24, 25.
How could that be 12 years?
I'm joking.
But like Ray has like a whole new fucking like lease on life. Like the stem cell treatment really worked. That guy looks like
he's like 36 again, right? Like,
he could barely walk, and then they did the blood vacuum thing and like Costa Rica, and now he's a
my
person.
God,
yeah.
dude.
The FDA doesn't need to know about it.
Absolutely. What I wouldn't give to hear fucking Latino heat just like play again. Oh, and you know what? I know that Vicky Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero's wife, widow, yes, is super down for this. I just would fucking kill for an excuse me to ring through Los Angeles. Oh my God. Okay.
There's such a history of getting heat on like the legacy of Eddie between like anytime somebody does like a shoulder shimmy or Logan Paul does a frog splash or like any reference, Eddie's down in hell, like Randy Orton stuff, like they are getting heat on Eddie long after he died.
When you say heat, what do you mean?
They're using his death and legacy to get a reaction. So if Randy Orton says, "Hey Ray, your buddy Eddie, he's not up there, he's down in hell," like
because Eddie Guerrero did the frog splash. Got it.
Yeah, but I'm using his like three amigos.
They've always, I think, really been super clear with the family if it's cool to use it. Vicky Guerrero's always been. The
estate approved the exploitation of his
Eddie
legacy.
would have been like that.
Eddie would have been down with it.
Anybody in
the
the business
we can speak on his behalf. Wonderful.
Anybody in the business would want to like Paul Bearer, like when Punk was like, dressing up like Paul Bearer, like interrupting his death, his shoot death celebration thing. Paul Bearer would have wanted that. Any carny ass wrestling person, which anybody in wrestling is carny as hell, would love that.
And the thing is, I'm eating this shit up because Eddie Guerrero is like favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh,
the
that's
fucking
cool.
mullet. Oh my God, he needs to come out in tights. All right.
Yeah.
I think Rey Mysterio might be my favorite of all time. Straight up.
He's very good.
Ray's fucking
and Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam's okay. He's still okay.
Yeah, he sounds
weed. He's awesome.
He sounds like a weed guy now.
But who isn't among wrestlers?
Is he
major weed guy?
He's a weed guy. All right.
Yeah. Major weed guy. He's got his own like strain or something. Yeah.
All right, boys. Moving on to what is officially on night one, opening night one. Austin Theory versus John Cena for the United States Championship.
This is such a good WrestleMania.
It's stacked. Yes. Yeah. I'm a huge sucker for anything like this match where, first of all, Cena barely wrestles anymore. So anytime he does it, it's a big deal. Second of all, Austin Theory legitimately grew up idolizing Cena. Theory is very young, and there are pictures of him as a young kid, like doing the like Dr. Thugonomics, like dressing up and stuff like that. So this is like, anytime somebody gets to wrestle their idol, like Jericho wrestling Shawn at WrestleMania or Shawn retiring Flair at WrestleMania, like I think that's such a cool built-in story. And I think Theory's been Theory with his promo game and everything has gotten a lot better. He's great in the ring. Cena just kind of running them down has been great.
Yep.
So very excited about this.
I feel like this could be a good passing of the torch moment to really solidify Austin Theory as like one of the next big up and coming people to build the company on.
I always get confused though because his name's Austin. So is Steve.
Oh, yeah.
It's so confusing.
Well, for a while he was just Theory, remember?
I know.
During the latter Vince days.
And Theory, just such a good name. You just say Theory, that just feels right in your mouth.
Just Ciampa. A bunch of people found their names. So
Has there ever been a father-son fight like this before or no?
In wrestling, yes, 1,000%. Like probably 50 of them.
Like right, like this is nothing
King
new.
Griffey
right?
Jr. and Senior fought at WrestleMania 9. There's also trying to think of other ones. God, why am I blanking?
Did Dusty and Cody ever get into a scuffle?
They never fought.
No.
I mean, Dusty would like be in his corner against like the Shield and stuff like that, but fuck.
I feel like
why am I blanking?
Never
Rick
in a
and David
match.
Flair.
Oh yeah. All right, moving on. This could potentially steal the show.
Oh, Vince versus Shane, of course.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
Oh right, I was around for that.
This could
Daddy Ass and the Ass Boys.
Right.
Oh yeah. God, that was fun.
The drama within families. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. This could steal the show, boys.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It could steal the show.
Why is that ghoul good at wrestling?
I know.
He's legitimately a fucking prodigy. He is a natural.
Who cares?
I know people hate to hear it, but he is like up till now, everyone points to Kurt Angle as being like the most natural. Like, oh, somebody came in from the outside and they immediately picked up on it. They
a gold medalist.
They were great. Oh, shoot, Olympic gold medalist.
Yes.
I think Logan Paul is maybe even surpassed Kurt in terms of
Logan Paul, a gold medalist of douchebags. Yeah, but yes. It's incredible. Every match of his, I'm just like, I can't believe I am just falling over like my chair because that was so exciting. He nails it.
He's had 3 matches. All of them were incredible. Granted, he's been getting one-on-one, months of training with Shawn Michaels, like the best ever. Like, not everyone gets that. So he's definitely, he's got a leg up for sure, but he is executing on that.
Yeah.
They've done 1 million celebrity matches in WrestleMania and WWE history. None of them have been anywhere close to Logan. Although I do love this recent trend of like Bad Bunny a couple years ago at WrestleMania. They bring him in. And he's a guy who cared about the business. He understood the business, and he fucking delivered. Same thing with Logan.
Yep.
Logan gets it. He's delivering. Like, I don't give a shit. I didn't know who Bad Bunny was before that. I barely know Logan Paul. Like, I don't care, but if they are good in the ring, then okay, I'm interested. So they've done a good job with the celebrity stuff recently.
Yep.
All right.
I don't like that excuse at all. I want to. Why? Like, you either have 2 choices if you're a piece of shit, right? You go to like Dancing with the Stars or WWE. That's like your 2
do both
options.
Some do both.
Some do both.
All right, let's speed through the rest of this card. We got Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control.
It's great.
Damage Control.
It's great in terms of like, I'm happy for like Dakota. Like, I know Dakota grew up idolizing them, and to get to share the ring at WrestleMania after being let go. Dakota gets to come back and face Trish and Lita and Becky. Like, that's cool, I think.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same. This, I don't know how this one's going to go. Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
It's going to be funny. It's going to be an interesting 6 to 8 minutes, I think.
Yes. It's going to be a fun suplex.
Yes. Yeah. We'll build to that suplex. We'll get a big pop for it. Yeah, absolutely.
For the Raw Women's Championship, we have Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
Build hasn't been amazing for either of the women's title matches, but like Bianca and Asuka are like 2 of the absolute best female wrestlers like of all time. And I would love the entrances. I think are going to be great. I think both of them will have awesome Mania entrances. Be a great match.
I kind of want Asuka to win, just because I feel like Bianca needs a little bit a pep in her step, a little bit of a mean streak, perhaps. I like when a babyface has to chase.
Also, Bianca's like Mania history, deservedly so, has been just like her destroying people and winning the title. Like, it would be nice to take an L and lose to Asuka. Yeah.
Or maybe Bianca Belair develops a streak at Mania. It'd be cool to see that. All right.
Didn't she? Well, actually, I think she was in a women's the not really the Moolah Battle Royal was her debut, and she didn't win that. So I don't know. Can it be a streak if she didn't win a Battle Royal? Does it count if it's a Battle Royal?
I don't know if it can. I'm going to say it doesn't count as a Battle Royale, but people will definitely argue.
A streak could just begin when it begins, just because it didn't.
That's true.
Yes. So I think it's fine.
Okay, there we go.
True.
All right.
Okay.
What may potentially close night 1? We have Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I need Rhea to win.
Rhea has to win. Bill has been bad. Charlotte has been stale for years.
It's going to be Rhea Ripley's time for the next several years, and I'm down for that.
Rhea's incredible.
This is also redemption for Rhea after that NXT championship match, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes. At the pandemic WrestleMania too, which like everything was unfortunate about that Rhea Charlotte first time around. So let's do it right this time.
Yeah.
Have Rhea just destroy her,
Yeah. And I mean, Charlotte, like she's eventually going to surpass her dad's reigns. I just want them to mean something and be more substantial.
They don't.
Yeah.
All right. Now Daddy Ass and the Ass Boys is stuck in my head. Daddy Ass and the Ass Boys.
All right. Night 2, the only thing that is set for night 2, which will be closing the show, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, right? It has to be Cody.
I think there's enough of a chance of Roman retaining that it will make it interesting. It'll make for some really good near falls. The obvious choice is to have Cody win. I don't know what else you do with the Roman Reign of Terror bloodline angle at this point, outside of all the stuff you can do out of them, them falling apart and fighting each other and everything. Like, that's some new stuff you could do. Another year of him beating everyone, like he's kind of beat everyone already.
Right.
Now is probably
he would go to like The
trigger.
Rock next year, maybe, and that's not as exciting as this, I don't think.
But they wanted that this year, and it didn't. Like, you can't count on The Rock's schedule, really.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's not worth. And then what? The Rock wins, and then for what? You know, it's like he's around for a month and drops it. Like, what's the payoff there versus really establishing a star like Cody? Like, sometimes the obvious story is the right one.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed.
And you know what an image that'd be of Cody raising the championships, and then Owens and Zayn join him afterwards. All of those belts in the ring. All right.
Get the WrestleMania 20, the hugging and confetti and stuff. Hopefully without all the tragic things that came later with those two. But yeah. Yes.
Pictures of Dusty up on the screen and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah, and Dusty loved Sammy and Owens too, right? Like,
yeah.
He really put a lot of faith in those dudes. Yeah.
Yep.
But he loved Roman more, if you believe Paul Heyman.
Oh, daddy. Jeff Backlar, you know who Dusty Rhodes is, right? Can you do a quick imitation of Dusty, and then we'll move on to video games?
It doesn't. It's not coming into my mind there. I also mixed him up in Gold Dust.
Well, I mean,
that's
his son.
Right. So like, I just don't know the voice. I'm sorry. I'm really letting you down here. I don't know what to do
just
here
aside
from just say
just say like
scissor my ass, daddy.
Daddy.
There we go. All right. It's the Dusty's developing. All right, folks, that's enough wrestling for now. Who knows where it may pop up?
Tell me about
definitely going to pop up. Let's be real. All right. Let's be real. Let's shoot. I apologize. Let's talk about some games. Of course. No. I just want to. It doesn't want to go.
Nope.
Great. Thanks, GoXLR. Great product. A good product doesn't work all the time. Game music. Now let's talk about video games. Here's the boys with video games. Jeff Backlar and Dan Reichert, you guys met up in person to play. We were talking about fanging and banging. You guys were fanging and banging out in New York when you two checked out Redfall.
Yeah, I got there on time, and Dan found his way there eventually as well.
I was there on time. It was just the building was not marked in any way, and I was there before the fucking thing started. I was
Stop describing everything as wrestling. It was more. It's a mark. It's the shoot. This. Oh, you mean numbered? You mean like the building was numbered? And even then,
I was in the fucking place like 10 or 15 minutes before it started.
For sure.
Anyway, was that late? I was there early enough to eat that avocado toast.
We played Redfall for 90 ass minutes, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we did. It was really who was the person we saw there? Who did we meet?
The completionist.
A good amount of people there, like folks that we talked to.
Yeah, who's that? I forget.
We talked to Jake Baldino for a little bit.
Yeah, Jake Baldino. That's who we saw.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake. Okay.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to start this? We recorded a little sort of first impressions video.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dan hates it. You kind of like it.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's not,
wow.
It's also, it was a sliver of the game. It was 90 minutes of the game. I was thoroughly uninspired by the game, but I didn't hate it.
You guys hear that backtracking in your headphones? Is that what's happening?
A vertical slice of the game.
Yes.
It sounds like backtracking.
It left me not super interested in playing it. I'll put it that way.
Okay,
I went in not knowing much about it. I went out being like, that doesn't seem great.
So for a long time, we thought this game was going to be a Left 4 Dead. It was hard to place it. Now, you guys have played it. They've since corrected the record a little bit. The video shows what looks like something akin to a Far Cry, although definitely not just a one-to-one Far Cry. I guess let's start there. What is this game?
So when we didn't talk about Far Cry almost at all in our video, and I think there is a bit of like I'm trying to piece together like why that was who said Far Cry first? Did they say it?
No, I said Borderlands more.
The developer in an interview said Far Cry.
I think the Far Cry name is getting thrown around, and Dan, back me up here if you agree. Not if you disagree, only if you agree. But I think it's because you're sort of like dispelling, like you're clearing out areas in some capacity where like there's the vampire nests that you can find in the world, clear those out for like loot rewards. And then there's also these like blood clouds that you disperse and you get some sort of loot by doing that. I think that's and like it's also the gated sort of like areas that are soft gated by, I don't know if, what is it, like maybe your XP, or maybe it's also the blood clouds that might like open up more areas for you. I think that's what the Far Cry thing is possibly there. And then it is like a general like main story arc that you're traveling through, peppered with the side quests and whatnot. So I guess like for lack of a better franchise, like, yeah, you could just throw Far Cry out at there and there you have it. But I mean, that's kind of it.
You guys definitely did say Borderlands more frequently.
Yeah. More than any one series comparison, whether it's Far Cry, Borderlands, it feels like open world design from 10 years ago.
Okay.
You know,
it's without a doubt a dated sort of like construct.
And it's a lot of like, let's look at the map. Here's a bunch of icons, like the whole, like the vampire nest, the hearts things. I did like 3 or 4 of those. And it was kind of the same thing every time where it's like, all right, fight through this weird kind of like cavey nest type thing for a while, kill a bunch of enemies, get to the end, break 3 of these things, shoot this thing, and then it clears out that part of the map or whatever. It's a lot of just looking at the map, deciding where I want to go next. Do I want to do a side thing? Do I want to do a main mission? It feels dated.
Did you guys play together in the same instance, or was it single
just
player?
Sitting next to each other.
Got it.
Yeah. And Backlar did like a main mission, and I focused more on open world stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry, Grub. You had an original question that we jumped over.
No, it's okay. We're bouncing back and forth. This is good here. So the thing that I think would help this game is 2 things. Is the shooting fun, and where is the arcaneness of the gameplay?
The shooting is very serviceable. There's nothing wrong with the shooting. There were things wrong with the AI and like enemy behavior and stuff like that. Lots of running into walls, looking at walls, not noticing when you're near them, stuff like that. The shooting felt fine. The guns and the loot felt very like there wasn't a lot of variety. I guess we're talking Borderlands earlier. It's like that has more kind of like their big shtick is like, oh, billions of guns or whatever. Here it's like, well, here's a stake launcher and it can be blue or it can be purple, and the purple's going to have bigger numbers.
Right.
But they all kind of feel the same. There's some fun stuff like flare guns and things like that, but ultimately the shooting doesn't feel like anything more than you've seen in the last 10 plus years of open world.
And then how about the arcaneness? So that would be like the in between the shooting
skill tree, right?
Yeah.
There's a skill tree. I went over every single pip on my skill tree, and it was a lot of like, the area of effect of this thing is up this %, or this thing will now recharge health if you're near it, or whatever. It wasn't like, big game changing stuff for the most part. And like when you say the arcaneness, like I think about that stuff in like Dishonored, and all those abilities where you could really approach situations in very unique ways depending on
that's what I'm expecting here, but it sounds like you didn't see a lot of that.
I mean, there's stuff like Jeff's character could like summon this like ex-boyfriend from the dead to come back and fight things. I had like a little robot that could like distract and draw fire and things like that, but not stuff that we haven't seen a million times.
I think it's like fun. I don't know if it's fun. I mean, it's unique. It's sort of like creative. We'll say that, I guess, but it's not demonstrably like this revolutionary kind of thing where you're like, oh, this is what's making me choose this character over the other. I think a lot of the stuff is kind of, to me, it also hasn't like played out in a way like, I don't know how you get to the point where we were in that game, right? Because they dumped all these skill points on us. You're many hours into it already at the point that we dropped in. I do still think you're able to sort of extract the moment to moment kind of story beats of like what the experience is going to be like. That said, I think like the powers and then the ultras sort of stuff, like, I just haven't seen, I in my experience in my 90 minutes, I didn't see those things like be game changing. Like when the character I played as also had sort of like an absorption umbrella, where like any attack, bullets or whatever it is, magic towards you, she sort of sucks up in this umbrella and then she dispels out. And it's like, all right, you're putting a cool sort of cosmetic spin on this very sort of used mechanic, but is it fun? I think the whole package still is maybe not the as crystal clear as like I'm eagerly sort of waiting for. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know how it all kind of comes together. I want to know the progression. I want to know the evolution of all these characters, and it's tough to get that vibe.
I forget.
I was concerned too that this is, so close to release and 90 minutes of playing it. Numerous instances of it, there were the guys facing the wall, there were the guys not reacting, and then at one point there was like this combat scenario on the docks, and all the enemies spawned underneath the concrete of the docks, and they were shooting up there. I couldn't see them, but their shots were coming up through the floor and hitting me, and there's nothing I could do about it. And like, this game's coming out soon. I know.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, maybe
but
they turned down the AI to have it like video game journalist mode to make sure you guys didn't feel overwhelmed or something like that. That just sounds broken.
That it was broke. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll be different when you're playing it with someone. Maybe it's designed to be more of that, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of people talk about the abilities synergizing. My question for y'all, because this game has vampires in it, is this always at night?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's a vampire called the Black Sun that always blocks the sun. So, so during the daytime, the vampires can come out. They're a little bit less powerful. They're more powerful at night. That's my basic understanding of it.
But there are like cultists too that like just walk
there's human. Yes, exactly. So there's
yeah.
like various tiers of things so the cultists you're just mowing down, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I like the story mission. I thought the story mission was kind of fun. There were parts of it that I didn't care for, but I thought like like I said in the video, like I'm a mark for spooky stuff. I just what
was the tone like? Was
stuff.
it super creepy or like?
So here's the thing. I think they try and straddle the line a little bit with like this goofy, spooky thing,
snarky.
And then some of it. What's that?
Snarky Marvel dialogue.
I don't think it's like over the top snark.
It's not over the top, but there's enough where it's like, shit.
I also think there's some really legitimate, like cool looking vampires, man. There's some like real, like cool. Some, there's like sniper ones that have like beams of light coming out of their eyes. I thought that looked kind of neat. I just think it is trying to like wear and service all these different hats, right? Where you're like, all right, well, what is this, right? Like, are you this or are you that? And then also tell this like kind of serious story about the origins of this, because apparently the vampire, disease is like manufactured by accident. I think there's like a campus on this island that someone accidentally, let the vampire juice out, and everyone is like. These telepathic vampires are now like infecting everyone on the island. And it seems like the island's like the first thing they want to take over, and then the world is next.
The thing that the way you guys are talking about this game, the one it reminds me of the most is Deathloop, because before that game came out, I just couldn't care less about it because it was just so because there were so many previews and there were so many things where I was just like this. Yeah, they showed this so many times. And I never felt like I could fully grok what it is, and so I had to play it myself to actually get it. I wonder if, in the context outside of that vertical slice, it's going to make a little bit more sense. But also, it does seem like it's meant to be multiplayer, and a lot of people are going to play it that way. It's probably going to be fine for that sort of audience.
I think there's going to be more fun there. We did only play single player. I think with Deathloop. I think like they learned a lot, but didn't. I think whatever they learned, it's very difficult to put that into execution.
Yeah, and those are two different teams. Deathloop is Arcane in Lyon. This is Arcane in Austin. 100%. So yeah, it's the pre-team.
Deathloop didn't stick the landing really, but like at least it had some like novel, cool ideas. And like, I'm not seeing a lot of like
and Deathloop felt
stuff in this.
Felt more arcane-y than this does for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. I really like Deathloop in the end, but
I did too. I enjoyed my time with that game. I thought that game was kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought the opposite. I really liked how it previewed because I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then actually playing it, of like, "Oh, I'm not enjoying this loop too much."
Yeah. I think Deathloop's packaging is stronger than the actual game in a lot of ways. I think it's got like some sick branding, and like they did a really good visual kind of like display of that game. But I think that game was strong. I just think so far with this, it's a little more dubious, a little more unclear. But we'll see. The final thing is out in like freaking 8 weeks, not even. So.
Well, that is coming out very, very soon. Something that is here right now, if you gentlemen and folks listening at home will indulge me, is I need a little piece of film equipment, camera equipment. I just wanted to show this off and talk about this real quick.
Because, my
God. This is also the weirdest packaging for anything to come in because it came in a soft bag. I can't tell you on all the sets I've been in how many precious pieces of equipment are often in weird sized duffel bags.
Sure.
But
they put like big tripods in like soft duffels sometimes too.
Tripods, sure, but nothing with like a motor in it, right?
Sure.
I just wanted to talk about gimbals real quick and how much I love gimbals.
Yes.
This is going to play very poorly for the audio listeners, but just indulge me. Use your imagination here.
Explain what a gimbal is.
A gimbal here, it's kind of like what Dan is using right now. Also not playing well for the
that's
audio.
not like, okay, so that's a gimbal. I thought that was kind of like a one big shot that's like 4K and you were zooming in on it.
No, it's swiveling around. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, look at the ceiling. We can do whatever we want here. Yeah.
Can you like program like things in there so like when you just hit one button, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So if I want to look at my fridge, I press this, and there's my fridge.
Yeah. Very cool.
I just love the images that's probably just like whipping around as Dan is like pressing presets.
It spins around all crazy. Yeah.
For folks that don't know, a gimbal is a motorized device to stabilize a camera. Generally, you'll see it to get like cool tracking shots. Think like how
put it on a drone.
Yeah, put it on a drone. To just it's 3-axis stabilization. So hopefully, using it correctly, you'll get a steady shot as you're walking or whatever. You still might get some vertical bounce on the Z-axis there. But y'all, let me tell you that it used to be like a set specialty to be the person on sets to balance a camera on a gimbal because of how the technology was so new and how much it sucked at the beginning. Like, I think when people think of gimbals often, like they'll think of like the big two-hander ones where like the camera...
That's like a specific brand, right? Isn't that the Steadicam?
Steadicam, yeah.
It's like DJI's stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like that design has been like adopted by other gimbal manufacturers and stuff. But now
DJI makes drones. Like I've got a DJI drone.
Yes, the DJI gimbals, like their big thing. Yeah.
Gimbals and drones. That's that company's bread and butter at this point.
Yep.
But now a lot of gimbals have progressed to kind of be like this single like hand type of dealio where you just balance the camera on top here. And the thing is, I have a pretty heavy camera. I'm using a Sony FX30. It's pretty beefy. Backler, you have the FX3. It's pretty weighty, right? It's
a heavy boy. Yep.
Yeah. And I remember before even balancing a lighter camera, maybe something like a A6000. You had to be super duper precise. And it took so long to switch lenses and balance that out as well. And then fine tuning it was always difficult. If it ever connected to an app was always difficult. But now this is the stupidest and easiest thing to do. All those people that specialize in gimbals a couple years ago, they're all out of jobs now.
The machines took over.
Oh, man.
The machines
Jim,
took over.
Are you bringing this? Will I see this in the flesh?
Yes.
In a week or two?
That's why. That's why we acquired it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And the crazy thing is, it's like a lot of these gimbals now will have accompanying phone apps where you can pass it to someone else with the phone app, and then all your job is to walk, and then the other person will like frame the shot and everything, and like be able to move it. It's so crazy. It's so insane. Like I love how far all this stuff has gone, but I also don't know how much further it needs to go, other than maybe like strapping a gigantic battery pack onto this for external power. It's just fun to geek out about like camera gear because Jesus Christ, y'all, like seeing kids with these tools and it's wild to see the stuff that they're making. I mean, phones now have a lot of stabilization, an insane amount of in-camera stabilization, but like for your regular person to be able to just save up some money, grab a gimbal, and just shoot some stuff, amazing.
And they're like, you can get them like $150 from China now, and they work just as well as the DJI ones at least. So yeah, it's awesome.
Chat says here, we've said gimbal so much it sounds like a nonsense word now. Can we all just say gimbal a bunch real quick?
Gimbal.
Let's go.
One,
gimbal.
two, three.
Gimbal.
Professor John Gimbal.
Jimmy
Gimbal.
I did not kill my wife. Gimbal.
It's they're amazing. The one that one has, I think what they're getting the advanced. So I have like one that is maybe the generation before yours there, but that one has like a wrist, like rest,
a weird
right?
Wrist rest here. So
yeah.
like,
oh nice.
If I'm like
it's
letting
all
it go
about the
there,
ergonomics of it, and it's all about like, you know, after a while you hold this like 20-pound thing, not even 20, maybe like 15, right?
Yeah.
it gets tired. You know, your arm gets tired. I think that's what's going to be the constant evolution is like lighter materials that can hold more weight and make everything a lot easier to use. But that shit, I love that shit. It's so awesome.
I eat this shit.
And the shots look so good. It's yeah.
And I love a good, I forget what it's called, but you know, like when like it just flips on like the x-axis as you're like going around. It's gonna be great. Gonna be fun times. Grub, Dan, I'm gonna make you walk rewalk through a shot several times. I'm letting you know this now.
Yeah, just
you have the impossible task of making Dan look cool. So I
don't do that.
We're gonna make Dan look so cool.
Cool.
I would protest this. I would protest this. No.
Like, Dan, I'm just going to give you directions of like, all right, Dan, candidly laugh. Think about like when Vince tore both his quads. See, there we go. That's the candid laugh and face we want. Before we get to the game of the week, anyone else playing any things that I want to talk about?
Oh, all the biggest games of today, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Resident Evil 6.
And Garfield's Lasagna Party.
That's right.
Boy.
Can I just say, that was just the worst.
It was more miserable than I was even expecting.
And I really do hope that it gives you guys an appreciation for what fucking Mario Party does.
Yes, it does. Are you happy?
Okay, thank you, Grub.
Those are Nintendo games. They're good games.
It's a difference between like, you know, diarrhea and vomiting. It's like,
come on.
Mario
Party since
Backlar.
Dan's been back? Have you been in a Mario Party?
Well, maybe the Bombathon. And I was loaded. Okay, I was loaded playing that thing, and it still was terrible.
You cannot say, Backlar, that Mario Party and that Garfield shit are like similar flavors of bad.
I mean, you're picking. It's like the lesser of two evils, is what you're doing. Like,
Drum Kid in chat says Mario Party is a
Party.
0 out of 10. Garfield's Lasagna Party is a -1.
Yeah, how do you want to have it? Do you want me to kick you in the balls or punch you in the face?
Even if you don't like the act of playing Mario Party, you can at least tell what's going on. Like,
yes,
Lasagna Party was
the
a
characters.
mess.
And the mini games are easier.
Well, you recognize
Normal? Yeah, exactly. Sean Arbuckle,
Arlene,
like, disassociating.
all the stars.
All the stars of whatever that thing is. I mean, look, it was just terrible. It was awful. It felt like a punishment. It seemed like some sort of prison
happy
sentence.
birthday again.
Yeah, thank you for that. You know,
I ordered you food for that party.
No, honestly, that's what made it all worth it, if we're being perfectly honest. Man, that was terrible. So thanks. Yep, it was great. So I did want to bring something up about RE4.
Wait. That's the game.
Yeah. Well,
is it really again?
No,
sorry.
Last time it was a demo. Last week was Chia.
All right, go have at it.
No. If anyone else got something they want to bring up. No, nothing.
No.
Sonic's bad, and I'm done with it. I don't ever have to play it again.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out is still fun.
Shadow is so cool, though, guys.
Yeah,
Shadow's very cool.
But people should watch that Blight Club, that last one, and the one before that.
That whole Shadow run was pretty insane.
The whole Shadow run.
If you haven't seen Blight Club on Giant Bomb, where we play bad games, I played through the Shadow campaign.
Some incredible moments.
Yes.
Really something. I played a lot of bad fucking games, but this was shocking.
Yes. There were moments in that campaign, and characters were brought up that I've never heard of before, like a weird Shadow the Hedgehog,
Syphilis.
Yeah, there's the robot with the Wolverine claws.
I know the robot because he was in Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And man, Rouge the Bat. Am I right, boys?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, Snooky's body with a bat's head. That's what I've been begging for.
So, you know, I cannot stand for this injustice that has befallen Sally Acorns. Bring back Sally Acorns into the fold, everybody. I was a little Sonic freak growing up.
All right. Oh, really?
So we don't need to.
Let's see your comic collection, your Archie Sonic collection.
Yes,
I actually still might have those.
I bet you do.
Yo, man. We don't need to talk about Sally Acorns anymore. It's similar to how she falls into a similar place in my brain as Gadget from Rescue Rangers.
Got it. Loud and clear.
We knew you were thinking that. We knew.
I just needed to paint the picture, boys. I just needed to paint the picture.
We knew, though.
We get it.
Before we get to the game of the week, Resident Evil 4 remake.
So yes, let's talk about Resident Evil 4 some more.
Did you see that shit about shooting the bell?
And I know,
no,
that's
incredible.
Awesome. It's so fucking cool. You can shoot the fucking church bell during the village part, and it'll do the same thing as like they all La Campana and start walking towards it. It ends it. So like as soon as you go to the village,
the bell makes them walk away. So you just shoot it, and they're like, "Oh, I guess it's time to go." What a game! What a game!
Awesome. Yes.
What a game! And it's not. This is not a spoiler because it's not something you're going to discover on your own. No. It is like very like the chances of you actually taking that shot and hitting it and seeing the bell and all that stuff. Especially when you're running around, it's incredible. Like that is so such
smart. Can you do that with any? Can you do that with a pistol? Or do you just need to?
It helps if you have a rifle, they said, but you can do it with a pistol, I guess.
It's very far away, so it's
very far.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Should we worry about spoilers? But this is a remake of an old game.
My thing, like when I wrote the review, my thing that I did was just like anything from the original Resident Evil 4. I thought was fair game. As far as like talking about the structure of the island and the castle and the village, but then I didn't want to spoil specific changes because there are some moments definitely where it's like that didn't happen the first time around. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to spoil those.
I played this game so many times on GameCube, but it's been so long that I'm getting to these moments. I'm like, oh my god, this scene. It's like taking me a second to recollect it. For the most part, I'm forgetting it until I'm like getting into it. I'm like, oh yeah, and this is mostly the same, at least how I'm remembering it. And now I'm kind of like, I want to go back to RE4 and actually see the original again.
Yeah, I think I'll like watch it. I don't think I'm gonna play the original. I'm gonna watch it somewhere.
Sure.
I was playing one of the Call of Duty modes with with the dummies, and there was this person who was like a friend of one of my dummy friends, and he was like 23. And I was talking about Resident Evil, and he's like, "Oh, I love that game." And I'm like, "Oh, when did you play?" I'm like, "Wow, it's like it's as old as you. That's crazy." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "My dude, like this game's like 21 years old. Like, you're 23." He's like, "No, I played it when I was." He's like, "I played it when I was 12." Like I'm like, "No, he didn't know it was that old." It was this moment where I was just like, "Wait, what's happening here?"
What did he think was the first Resident Evil?
That's what I kept saying. I'm like, "Wait, did you?" So he was under the impression that like, I guess, and maybe this is like very specific to this person, but I think he was under the impression that like it was the Star Wars sort of thing where it started with 4, 5, 6.
Hey, I thought
but
that's
like it makes sense, I guess. If you don't care to like look it up, I know, Dan. To us, it doesn't. But like, if you don't,
you just said it did.
No, but I guess if I was just trying.
This guy wasn't a dummy.
Within
like
his context.
In his context, like he thought Resident Evil 4 like first came out on like the HD version was like the first version of it. Like
that's incredible.
And I was just like, I did that like Larry David fainting gif where he's like, oh, like I couldn't believe what I was. Yeah, but I guess I don't know. Maybe he's just an idiot. But
hey, I mean, like, there's some people their first introduction to RE4 is on an iPhone.
Damn.
Wow, that's fucked up, Jan.
Just put that in your little noggin, baby.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
The premier way to play Resident Evil 4.
Yes. I'm gonna forget that.
The game still mostly tank controls, but it's like super intuitive because the camera actually moves in a way behind you that it makes it feel right, and it's
better. Yeah,
you can move and aim at the same time, which is something you could do in later versions of the game, obviously. But it's like they have that here, and they've obviously I think they've tuned the game this time to like work with that. Google's yelling at me for some reason, and so it's like the game I think feels the appropriate amount of difficult and the appropriate amount of tension whenever you do get in one of these combat scenarios, even though you can maybe move around a little bit easier. But Leon still feels kind of clumsy, like the GameCube version.
I have to assume it's still doing the thing that the original did behind the scenes, where there's that like game rank system where it's like every time like somebody grabs you or you miss a shot or whatever, it is tweaking things behind the scenes as far as difficulty. I have to assume if they did that in 2005, they're doing it now,
I keep dying, boys. I keep dying because I keep trying to parry every single thing. I'm like,
oh, that's your problem.
Come at me. I got this. I'm Leon S. Kennedy, baby. I'm going to suplex you after this, and then I'll just get my head
I know
chopped
the president.
Yeah.
Like that edition, like I was racking my mind. It's like, wait, was this in the original one? No, this wasn't in the original one.
No. Suplex was, for sure.
Suplex, of course.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, the only thing that still drives me crazy is the space, like the impossible suitcase thing of like,
that's great.
I love the suitcase. I love the whole thing. But the only thing that bothers me that I'm just like, this was fixable is the idea of like, you must discard a thing and you can't just combine the ammo in the empty chamber of your clip. You have to like, It doesn't come up a lot. It's pretty infrequent, but it is just one of these things where it's like, how did we not fix that part? Anyway, other than that, it's a perfect game.
It's really fun. It's so playable. It goes from one cool thing to another.
Yeah.
And the thing you're doing next is just slightly different enough that you're like, oh man, this is okay.
Yeah.
I'll play through this and then I'll be done. And then you start something else. It's like, oh man, well I want to see
the
this.
mine carts. Like I forgot about everything, dude.
And if it was a constant hum of that tension of the village, it would be insane to play. But it's you're just so good at like giving you these sustained, like here's like 10 minutes of just like white knuckle terror. And then like, okay, now this area is clear. I'm going to take my time and go around and look at these puzzles and find a key and do some herbs and arrange. Like the ups and downs are very well paced, I would say.
Yeah, playing through this makes me put a thought in my head where I don't know if RE7 and RE8 will age as well as Resident Evil 4 has. Because like further down the line, it's just like I have more fun playing Resident Evil 4. Maybe it's the third person.
Interesting.
Or what it is. But like I don't care about Ethan what's his face and his weird magic hands.
Ethan Winters?
Right.
That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, 4 has always been a better game than I like 7 and 8, but 4 has always been better.
I'm not attached emotionally to the character as much as you apparently are, Jan. I feel like
because you're so cool, dude.
I know, but like
pretty cool.
He's cool, but also it's like
the S stands for suplex.
I think it's all right. I don't know. I'm not like I just admitted the other day, or at least came to the realization that Resident Evil is probably my favorite franchise of all time. But you were there for that, Dan, and you said,
I don't remember.
Wow. I believe second wow. No, but like I don't know. I think for me it's the world. It's like being in creepy places, looking at creepy shit. I love just the variety of that. I said this maybe I said this on the quick look, I can't remember, but it's just like I know these places are awful and you'd never want to be there in real life, but for whatever reason, I must exist there. I like going into everything's, you go to one place that's like, polished porcelain and marble everywhere. And it's just like the glow of the candles on the, chandeliers and whatnot. And then the next place is just like slugs and sewage. And you're just like, oh, I love everything so much. I don't know what it is. I'm addicted to Resident Evil. It's
really one of the better new game pluses as far as like continuing to level up the weapons and getting the exclusive mode on all those. Like it's a great new game plus.
All right.
So I two things. One, it runs really well on the Steam Deck. In fact, it runs kind of perfect on the Steam Deck.
Yes, that's how I've been playing it.
Me too.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
and it's cool to get in there intimately, have it up close. Those speakers, once again, are GOAT, and the game is so enveloping in terms of just like immersing you with that stuff. And so it can run at 60 frames per second to save a little battery. I set the refresh rate to 40. I top the frame rate out at 40, and it just never drops from 40.
That's awesome.
It runs at a perfectly solid 40. I have FSR2 on, that's built in. And so that really helps, but it makes it look a little bit soft, but also you're running on a Steam Deck, so I'm used to that. It still looks great for the most part. Obviously it would look better on my desktop, but I've just been enjoying it so much on the Steam Deck that I have zero complaints. I am super impressed. Obviously, that is the Reach for the Moon engine, the RE engine, that just delivering once again. So we shouldn't be too surprised, but it's like, man, out of the box, the thing had the little question mark for the Steam Deck saying, we have no idea. I'm like, I'm going to try it. I'm not afraid of that question mark. And it just worked. And I'm like, oh boy,
That's awesome.
This is really great that we're at this point where a big game from a big company like Capcom could just come out, run great on the Steam Deck. Man, we're eating.
Yeah.
Also, we're a little over a week from Mercenaries mode.
I was going to ask, are you all at all interested in Mercenaries? Yeah.
It was awesome the first time around. Oh, yeah. That, and if they do the separate ways, Ada Wong DLC, like, I'm up for all that.
Yeah. Also, let's just decide right now, guys. We're all here.
Okay.
Can this be Game of the Year?
Oh, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So much work has been done to this, dude. Like,
yes, I agree. I just want to make sure we're on. Okay, so it's decided. So when Game of the Year starts, this conversation's already happened. We already know. Locked in. Fantastic.
I mean, this has been a good year for games.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, this is easily top 5 so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
if not at the very tippy top. You know?
There's a Zelda game coming out soon.
That's
What
true.
was that? What are you side mouthing? What?
There's a Zelda game coming out soon. You can make a long
green
pitchfork.
goop, and you can like make a rock small and put it on your
we'll
sack.
talk about that game.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
we'll
got some
get to
confidence
that.
in that game based on what they're showing. Like, oh boy.
So real quick, back to the fidelity performance conversation with RE4. I'm playing it in like resolution mode on PS5, and I can't tell. Don't shake your head at me. I can't tell.
Resolution mode.
It looks like like frame rate wise, I think it looks very, very playable. It's
I
not.
bet it is.
It doesn't look like 30. It doesn't look like it's hiccuping. I also can't tell if that's like a VRR kind of thing. With also my TV that can handle that.
If your TV's got that, I'm sure that's helping. Because that's like,
But-
that's G-Sync stuff basically happening.
It's so sick. It's like very, very good. If you've got the means, I highly recommend it. Play it in that mode. It is exceptional looking.
How hard is it to set up a Wii controller to play OG RE4? Because
you're crazy.
not hard at all.
no, not
if
hard
you
at
have
all.
the Wii version, I mean, listen,
yeah.
we have our ways, and that just works. I'll say the Wii controller is Bluetooth.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Okay, what if I do have the chainsaw controller, the GameCube one for Resident Evil 4? Can I play the remake with the chainsaw controller?
The remake, I bet you can.
Yes.
Like you get the that USB thing. Hang on, I got it right here.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
it's a very bad
The
controller.
chainsaw controller, or does he have the dongle? Okay, it's a. Oh, he has
hell's
bongos.
that?
Bongos.
The bongos are just extra, but the bongos are like you
Okay.
plug it into one of these things for the Smash Brothers that they had. So you can plug it in like to the Wii and the Wii U or the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it's just USB, and you plug this in, and then you have GameCube ports right there, and that should just be what the chainsaw controller is, right? You have the GameCube version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get your bongo
There you go.
dongle.
So this was a third party one. It was like really cheap, so it works.
Oh, that'd be very silly.
You just set it to PC or Wii U on the back. And you're
Well,
good to go.
Dan, you could just use the
Okay.
chainsaw controller as your main controller from now on.
I'm just using
Probably
the
should.
bongos
I
as
have
my
the Steel
controller.
Battalion controller too now, so I gotta find a way to do that.
You could set up so many macros then. Oh, Jesus.
So many
Christ.
stupid ways of controlling games.
Man, RE4 is fucking great, dude. It's just
It rolls.
yeah.
It just I remember like reading Dan's review and it's like, man, 5 stars. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's gonna be able to live up to it. And holy smokes, it lived up to it and more.
Oh yeah.
It's wet.
Yep.
We have this conversation every time, but let's just get what's next for them in terms of remakes. I obviously, what's next is Resident Evil 9. Like they're going to do that
Sure.
next, but then after that,
as someone who like a month ago finished Resident Evil 5 co-op with my sister, and is now working on Resident Evil 6, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, especially coming off the high of a 4 remake to
Don't
drop
do
down, like, put
5.
all the time and money into
Do
like,
0.
They're eventually
doing
gonna do 5.
Zero's not great either. Like,
Yeah, but it's better than 5.
I think because it's going to be the Resident Evil 3 team, right? And that's going to be
the B
a
team,
little bit
or
of the
whatever.
B team.
Yeah.
So you let them go and do one that doesn't matter as much.
Do the boat one. Revelations or whatever it was.
Jungle
Oh,
Cruise?
the 3DS ones?
Yes,
Revelations
Jungle
1 and 2?
Cruise. Yes, Emily Blunt and The Rock.
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, after this, I feel like I'm going to need to continue to scratch the itch until 9 comes out. So I'm probably going to go back and play like HD RE1.
It's still great.
Yeah.
You know,
Code
maybe do that
Veronica.
on the
Yeah.
Steam
Code
Deck.
Veronica.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what
Code Veronica
do we
might be
want the
right.
A team to do then? Like, forget what is sequentially going to come
I think the
from
A
the
team
B
should
team.
do Code Veronica
Agreed. I'm with that.
Yeah.
because that's
Out of
the
all
one that
the
apparently is
options
super
that have not
important
been
to the
remade,
story.
Yeah, probably Code Veronica is the best one they haven't remade yet.
I've seen folks say this a bunch in chat. Anytime we've brought up like what is the next thing to be remade, do they pivot and do something like Dino Crisis?
I think they get to a Dino Crisis down the line. I think Resident Evil, they can't stop the Resident Evil money train. It is
Mega Man
too
Legends
lucrative.
3.
There you
Well,
go.
you know, like maybe they
I
could make it
love Dino
work.
Crisis.
I think they'll do a Dino Crisis once they've kind of exhausted all the Resident Evil and they need to sort of reload and think about what they're doing next. I think they'll do one. They're not going to do all the Dino Crises.
I think we said
This is
this
Dead
last
Rising.
week. Yeah, I said Dead Rising. I want Dead Rising. Give me all
That'd
the
be fun.
Yeah, they could be fun. If Link discovered spirit glue, fucking just give what's his face actual glue. Oh my god,
What were their
All right.
names? What was
Let's
it?
go.
Frank?
Frank Grimes?
No, that's
Frank
Simpsons.
Somerville. No, that's a Another KT.
Frank the Tank?
Frank West.
Frank West.
There we
Frank
go.
West. And then the second
Thank you.
one, Billy Stevenson,
I don't have this one.
Brad Gable. What was the second guy? The motorcycle man.
Those just sound like
Steve
CMA
Burnside.
winners, like
What is
Country
it?
Music Award winners.
Gimbal. Was it Gimbal? I think it's Gimbal.
Chuck Green.
Chuck Green?
Chuck Green. That's it. Yes.
Oh, man.
That's right. Yes. And then there was the guy in 3. Who the fuck was that?
Wait, was 3 not Frank West again? No, it wasn't, huh?
No, 3 was the one in like the suburbs. It was a launch game for the Xbox One.
That's right. Yeah.
And you could use smart glass to call in like satellite.
Smart glass.
attacks.
Hell
Yes.
yes.
Guy.
Oh
Yeah, my
God,
sister Kayla held my iPad and was calling in satellite tricks. We use smart glass.
Oh my God. I haven't
a
thought
cool
about
thing.
smart glass in 10 years.
Do they maybe revisit Onimusha?
Ooh.
Yeah, they probably
That could be more
revisit a lot
fun.
of those. Yes, I think so. I think they take a lot of the lessons learned from remake of Resident Evil, and they apply it to some of these other ones. But I think they're going to be very targeted with like the one they think they could turn into a franchise next.
I just don't think Dino Crisis is that then. I don't
No, I don't think so either.
No,
But I
we
think
said it already.
It's good for one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
We said already. Third person action adventure Mega Man is what we said.
Yeah, Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, just make Mega Man like Ratchet.
That's it.
Jesus.
That'd
Yeah.
be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you
Yeah.
can get his fucking robot dog, whatever the hell.
Mega Man
Let's
music
go.
going on. Yeah, big budget, third
Come on.
person. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, why
Come
don't
on.
they do
It's a
that?
no-brainer.
They should
It's a
just
no-brainer.
do
Little
that.
monkey toilet.
Because
Yeah.
Mega Man 11 didn't sell very well. So
Oh, well,
over time, they did fine. But at first,
They've done a bunch of the Devil May Cries, right?
oh,
Like redos.
huh.
They did an
Give-
HD
give-
collection of the first 3.
yeah, I don't think they've
Give
done
me-
remakes.
No.
Give me a proper sequel to DMC. Remember that?
I liked it. I liked
I liked
that
it too,
game.
but just the fact that you said that makes you enemy of the people.
That's crazy.
Good.
Because
I mean,
like I love the
dude,
original
I live in New
trilogy. Well,
Jersey. What do you
yeah,
mean?
I love 1
Of
and
course.
3. And then I love DMC as well. I didn't like
DMC
every
rules.
played that a
Yeah,
bunch.
That game
through.
fucking
It's
rules.
great.
Let's go.
That's the one that has the Fox News surrogate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like
I love
a
that
fight
shit.
where you're fighting the big like news head
Bill
or whatever.
O'Reilly guy or whatever.
Yeah, it's
that
awesome.
ruled.
Yeah.
That game. I mean, I'm into it, man. I think they re-released DMC with like some upgrade, or maybe it was just a regular.
It's an
Really?
HD
Remember-
trilogy.
What's that?
They did an HD trilogy of 1, 2, and 3.
But I think DMC maybe had like a Game of the Year version where it was like all the DLC or whatever it was packed into it. I think
There's
that's
ones where it's like, oh, you
can
can play as Virgil now and stuff.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Capcom remaster Chaos Legion from the PS2.
Yeah.
I love the
I remember
shit out of that game, man. I
Yep,
played
I remember
that
liking
so
that.
much.
Yeah.
Any other dreams and wishes for Capcom boys before we go to break?
Just the dreadlocked Bionic Commando. Give me that guy. Give me another one.
I just love that they're killing it so much lately. Like,
Yes,
I mean,
they rule.
in terms of like those companies, I remember growing up, on the NES, seeing their logo, and like Konami might as well be dead to me. Like all these other companies have been absorbed and closed down a million times over, and like Capcom is still fucking doing Capcom stuff, maybe better than ever right now, and it's cool to see.
Do you think they do Resident Evil 1?
Again?
I think they'll get around to doing that one again. Yes.
Eventually. I
could
don't see it soon though.
They don't need it, but I think that they didn't need Resident Evil 4, and yet here we are, and it's making a lot of money. If they do
'cause-
Resident Evil 1, it'll make a lot of money.
Yeah, because 2 and 3 had the like fixed camera, tank control stuff, and they did those remakes. And like even though
Yes.
Resident Evil has been remade, it stayed with the fixed camera, tank control
Exactly.
stuff. Like, why don't we do that with the? Yeah, you know what? I could see that. That
That's
first
what I'm
remake was
saying.
from 2002. You know?
Yeah.
It's older than Resident Evil 4. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that might be on the table. Maybe not for the B team, but
I'd be into that. I would be into that totally.
they're going to do it. They are
the
going
B
to
team
do it.
0, give the main squad 1.
That's good. I like
yeah.
that.
I'm
Yep.
just
or
I'm
give the
just-
B team Code Veronica.
Yes, one of
Yeah,
those.
sure. Split the
yeah.
difference.
Okay.
Code Veronica needs real love, I think. but
I
we'll
think
see.
we need to show Ronnie a little bit of love there. Man, I'm just looking at Capcom's Wikipedia here, and it's just like, dude, you got Resident Evil, you got your Monster Hunter freaks, you get your Street Fighter freaks, and then like there's so much to do there.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is happening.
That's-
They've already started growing another one of these franchises that they think can be the next big one of these pillars. So they're just working slowly, and then they're doing a lot of work on the things that have already worked. And there's still a lot of gold to be mined out of them hills.
Yo,
Chat says Power Stone.
Power Stone or Maximo, huh?
Oh,
I love
Maximo. Yeah.
Give me
I'd
Maximo.
do some more
yeah.
Maximo. Totally.
Yeah.
Ah,
Totally.
dude, I
Who
remember.
did Rygar? Was that Capcom? Was Rygar
Toei?
I don't think
Was
so.
that them? I don't remember.
Toei? Was it Toei?
I am so fucking excited this year because as someone who like grew up as a huge fighting game fan, but like not in the competitive sense, just in the way that I want to play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and see the characters, see the endings and all that stuff. The fact that we have a badass looking Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, and then Grub, you were telling me recently that there's a Mortal Kombat coming out this year. It's like,
yes, there is.
Those and Soul Calibur are like my fighting series. And like I am way more excited about fighting than I have been in many years.
It's going to be a hell of a year for fighting games.
Yes.
Awesome.
I've been looking at sticks and hitboxes in preparation. I don't know whether or not I should try picking up a fighting game now or just wait to go into 6 cold.
I was going to play some Street Fighter 5 and some Tekken 7. So maybe we can have a fighting game stream here pretty soon.
Yes, I'll put the hitbox on a gimbal, everyone. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the most stable. All right. Well, that about does it for the first segment. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with some video game news. Link's got a big stick now. The hottest social media app is still popping off here on Giant Bomb. That's right. Forget Twitter, forget Facebook, Meta, whatever the heck you want to call it. Forget the tickety-tocketies. Google Docs. Google Docs is still popping off. If you're watching live in chat, the link is there. Go help us determine an episode title. Discuss amongst yourselves.
I saw something bad.
What?
Oh,
kind of bad.
All right.
What flavor of bad?
I saw the bad thing.
What?
Or is it the bad thing or is it the very good thing?
Depends on who you are. I'm upset.
Somehow this became 16 pages. I looked at it a couple minutes ago. Oh, boy.
This is my first time opening it, and I see Sally Acorn's Gadget right there. Yeah, I see someone else's cursor there as well. Oh, I see the most cursors right here parked by Sally Acorns and Gadget.
Yes.
Something ain't right about this.
I've decided to move the shout outs to the Google Doc that is open to everyone watching live. We'll get to that. Make sure it's okay things. I'm going to trust all of you, okay?
Nothing is okay.
I'm going to trust all of you. I'm just going to trust all of you. Can't call HR and y'all, I guess. Right? Can't? No. Tried to fix my Go XLR during the thing. None of these samples are working, so that's fun. So here's an acapella version of the news music. This is the news with Jeff Grubb. These are the news stories with Jeff Grubb.
Scratch one grub.
Bacalar and Dan and Jan are here too for the news. Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, I'm here to take it away. We got some news. We started with some news actually from today. Today at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, Nintendo showed off 10 minutes of gameplay from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Got a few details about what this game actually is finally, although still a lot of questions. In the demonstration, IG Aonuma, showed off basically a handful of new abilities, and that's it. Some abilities include Fuse, which enables you to connect just about anything in the game together, and a lot of those items have special abilities like specific to them. One of the examples he used is you have an eye that you collect from one of the monsters, something you could do in Breath of the Wild. In this game, you could fuse that eye to one of your arrows, and now it's a homing arrow, and it'll just find the bat up, or a bat or a bird up in the sky, and be able to take them out automatically. That was incredible. There's a ton of interactions like that. Another ability was, let's see here, there was the rewind ability. What they call that? Recall, which could rewind objects back through time. So what they showed is a big boulder falling down from the sky. You jumped on top of that thing, you hit it with the recall, and now it's rewinding and taking you back up to the sky like an elevator. There's probably a lot of other things you could do with that recall. They only showed off that. And then Ascend, which really just truly got Bacalar because it now enables you to go through a ceiling, any ceiling, including a cave, which took you through the entire, like an entire mountain, basically. Heaps and heaps of stone. He just zooped through that up to the top, and then suddenly Link was on top of the mountain. You could not ascend down, which how are you feeling about
ascend
that?
Down. That's descending.
Exactly.
The whole different word for that. Yeah.
It's just sort of breaking my brain. I don't like if he just stood on his head, could he then go down?
Actually,
right? Like,
because you can fall, right?
It's all relative.
Like, come on. What are we doing?
I can't wait for people to break this game.
Why no downsies, only upsies? Come on.
Is it going to, I assume it's all going to work together where it's like, yeah, we saw the arrows with the eyes and stuff, but I have to imagine since all the things interacted with each other the way you would want them to the first time around, I bet if you attached an eye to like a sword or that long pitchfork and you threw the pitchfork, I bet it'd be a homing long pitchfork, which
or
sounds
you
amazing.
put the eyes on the boat that you can make, which is another thing you could fuse together. You fuse together a bunch of stuff and make a boat. But does the boat now just like have a mind of its own and like start going towards things on its own? Like
sentient boats?
Yeah. This
You know
is
what
just
this almost feels like to me? When
Yes,
remember
I know.
the first time you heard about Scribble Knots? I remember playing it for the first time at E3 and being like, the possibilities are endless. What happens if I do this and then this? And it's just fun to think about, like, how is the game going to react to that? I almost feel that with this based on what we saw today.
I agree.
It's more a boy in his blob, really, for me, is what it is.
I never actually played a boy in his blob.
I owned it as a kid and didn't ever understand what the fuck I was doing.
Jelly beans, right? That's the
Yeah,
big
it's just
thing?
jelly. It's a jelly bean based
that
economy. Is
It
what
turns
it
into a
is.
ladder or a spaceship. Yeah.
You got a jelly bean ladder. You turn into a jelly bean. You got an eye arrow. It's a homing arrow. Same kind of thing. Look.
This game, so they showed off the abilities, right? That's what they showed off. We were going to this not exactly sure. They said 10 minutes of gameplay. It was 10 minutes of gameplay. We didn't see really what's going on with Zelda. They didn't really show us anything about the story. They didn't show us anything about shrines. That we didn't see any shrines when the map was way pulled out. There was maybe a suggestion there's like these swirly things that take you up to the sky realm that might have some like sky shrines or something. Maybe that's where the shrines are. We don't know.
Skyland, Skyland Scrines.
Skyland Skynes. Yeah, we basically still know almost nothing about what this game has you doing. Is there dungeons, things like that? To me, this reads as they are so confident in this game. They're like, here are the new abilities. We know you're going to show up, and we know that what we have is special. And I'm putting this thing up on a pedestal right now. It has a lot to live up to for me. I think it might be able to pull it off.
Could you fuse a bunch of
Breath of the Wild? Like all the potential was there, and then it's like, man, is it going to live up to it? And it's like, oh, actually, way beyond.
Way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you fuse a bunch of sticks to just make a tree?
Yeah. Could
I
you
mean,
make your
are
own
trees
Skyland
like one
with a
big
bunch of
stick
bushes?
when you think about it, though?
That's also true.
Yeah, but that pitchfork turned into one big pitchfork. So
But that was attached to a stick or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we're going to test the limits of this thing, and we're going to see.
Could you make a Darth Maul pitchfork?
Oh, 100%.
Sure, why not?
For sure.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you could do like opposite ends kind of thing. We don't know.
Randy pitchfork.
Well,
Double-sided,
it looked like
yeah.
you could move like the logs around, right, to form your boat. I can't imagine why you couldn't do the same thing
Is
with
the
pitchforks.
sticky goo ability different than the fuse ability?
No,
I
it seemed
think
like that was the fuse ability. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, really? I thought
Well, there was
fuse
like a
was
death
actual.
hand or something.
Well, yeah, that was ultra hand.
They called it ultra
Ultra
hand,
hand.
but I think it's
Ultra
ultra hand to fuse things together. Like that's
Show me some ultra
Okay.
hands.
It's funny how I loved how the big log shrunk down to the stick. I thought that was awesome. Same with that
the rock?
boulder. Yeah, it's pretty
yes.
great.
Like when he put it on his belt, it had to like shrink down.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of interactions in this game. I am very excited because it seems like what they've done is, and there's some complaints out there. This looks a lot like the last game is the big complaint right now. And for me, I find that very exciting because what seems to have happened here is instead of taking 6 years to develop an all new Zelda game with all this new stuff and going in a different direction, they just went deeper on Breath of the Wild. And there were so many potential things they could build on top of that. And so far what they've shown is, yes, we've done exactly that. And I feel like they've only shown us a very tip of the iceberg there.
Yep.
And so
Tip of the pitchfork.
the tip of the pitchfork. I think that this is exactly what I wanted from them after Breath of the Wild is take this and just go even deeper and make those connections even stronger and do it for like the same amount of time you would take to make a real new, brand new, different Zelda. And instead put those energies into figuring out what else you could do with this. And I'm like, okay, this just feels like a big moment. And I am more excited for this than I ever even was for Breath of the Wild.
Can I ask y'all why is there like apprehension to this being the same map with like a couple new things? Because
I think people are just bitter about they don't, they feel undersold or they feel like there's some sort of disservice that comes along.
They say it could be DLC is a big one of the things, and
crazy.
I've never felt that way, but I do kind of understand that. Like, I would like a new map because so much of the joy of Breath of the Wild was exploring that and being like, what's that over there? Okay, what's this thing over here? Like exploring that. And like, I do want that experience again. But I think even if it is the same basic overworld map, there's obviously they're putting so much, as we saw today, so many new things in there that are going to be those like discovery moments that I'm not really that worried about it. But I can kind of relate to why people would wonder if it's a new map.
Yes, exactly. I relate to those anxieties specifically. It's just for me, it's like I thought it out, and this is actually what they're making is what I want. I hope that it doesn't feel, even if it is the same map, I hope it doesn't feel like it, but based on what you just said, Dan, where it's just like they can really remix it in some strong ways. And honestly, they could play with your expectations. Like in the last game, it worked this way. So I bet if I go over there, I'm going to be able to get this thing or find this thing or be able to do this thing. And then when you get there, it's actually they're pulling the rug out from underneath you. Now you have to deal with stuff in a completely new way. And now it's like, use your new abilities in creative ways. And I'm like, oh, that's what I want from this modern take on Zelda. So
I think they've earned the level of trust, or throughout the Zelda history, there's never been like the cash-in easy Zelda sequel. Like I remember when Majora's Mask was supposed to be a N64 DD exclusive, and there were screenshots, and it's like, oh, this looks like a remix of Ocarina. It looks exactly like Ocarina, and it's like, look how different Majora's Mask wound up being from Ocarina. So really not worried about it, feeling like the same thing.
I mean, how many years is supposed to have passed from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like in the game?
Years.
I don't know if
hundreds, thousands, millennia. I don't know. Like,
well, therefore, like, geography can change, developments can pop up and stuff.
Enough for that flow to form in the back of his head. God damn.
What a mane. Damn. It took all Grubb's hair and put it on Link.
Yeah,
seriously, we found it.
That's
we
what
found
doing.
That's why Minotti nailed it.
Yeah. That's why they delayed Metroid.
Please get me out of jail.
Well, I guess we'll be playing this game May 12th, like everybody else.
Oh yeah, almost.
Yeah. Yep.
Great.
Hey, whatever. We gotta wait. I'll just be happy to have it.
I'm really juiced. I didn't want to watch y'all watch this earlier, but I caught up on it. My God, the best thing to come out of Breath of the Wild for me personally is just seeing all the crazy, cool things people have done to exploit the game. And I can't wait for folks to exploit the crap out of all of these tools. Because yesterday I saw someone make they threw their sword or a boomerang maybe, and then it came back. They froze it using the stasis thing in Breath of the Wild, and now it was like a lawnmower, and they mauled it like a Lionel. And I was like, Jesus Christ. What can you do with the spirit glue now? Like, could you attach
the speed run scene is going to be insane with this.
That obviously was the driving force behind these decisions that got made.
Yeah.
They saw people being like, doing things that they didn't expect, and then they're like, let's just make the fucking game like that. Like,
and I think that's them realizing what is actually happening here. And it's that, Zelda for a very long time was... We are building these bespoke dungeons that have these great puzzles, and you're going to get an item, and then you're going to learn how to use that item, and then you're going to learn how to exploit that item to overcome any obstacle that's in that dungeon. And that was a great loop. It was fantastic. There's a reason they had Link to the Past, and they made that game sort of over and over and over again for years and years with different twists. Like that was the idea. Link to the Past, but you could turn small. Link to the Past, but you have a train. It didn't always work out, but that was the idea. And I think what they realized is that actually what we were doing there was it's fun to get something, an item or an ability, and then be creative with it. And it's like what they did with Breath of the Wild was you're going to get abilities, and instead of just having the bespoke puzzles in the dungeon that you overcome, we're going to give you a world that is sort of more complex enough that at any moment you could have realizations about new ways to use these things and use them in fun, interactive ways. And that's the Zelda experience, writ large. And this seems like, okay, now what if we did that and we just turned it up to 10,000? So,
and ultimately, I would take that 10 times out of 10 over we added a bunch more dungeons and you'll be, pushing blocks and rotating mirrors and stuff like that. Look, yes, I love a good classic Zelda dungeon as much as the next guy, but the feelings of discovery in Breath of the Wild with those interactions between items and systems and stuff was far more kind of mind blowing to me than this was another honestly, really good dungeon,
And it's still very Zelda. It still was. It is 100% still a Zelda experience. And I think that there's maybe room for both. I would love for them to take what happened in Link Between Worlds and do a sequel to that. Take Grezzo, go have them make a sequel to Link Between Worlds. Let's do that. Make that a lot more like the traditional thing. But you cannot abandon what you've done here. It is too influential, too great, and they really seem to just be running with it to the logical conclusion, which is what if everything you picked up could be a part of this chemistry system? And say, what if? That's incredible. Let's do it.
Yep.
I think you could make a shoot skateboard in this game.
I think you're right.
Do you think there's a
yeah.
do you think you can grind in this game?
Oh,
We've seen it.
Wait, we have?
Yeah.
And one of the trailers, he was grinding on something, I think. Yes.
hell
He might have been like grinding like Heelys, though. But I mean, honestly, if you can grind with your feet, you can grind with a skateboard. That's what my daddy always used to say.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
First thing you learn.
Yep. All right. Related to this, Nintendo announced the Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. It's coming April 28th. Obviously, without the game, as Nintendo is wont to do, they release special versions of the console, not including the actual game. This is going to be it's $360, right, Dan? You were just looking at it.
It was like $380 with tax. Yeah.
$380 with tax.
You got to pick up though.
Yeah, you got to drive.
You got to pick it up. Yes,
Like
it's
a
the
sucker.
OLED version. But doesn't include the game. It it has the style of Tears of the Kingdom. There's also a Pro controller with the same stylings, so and that goes along with it. Not included, obviously, in the Switch bundle. But yeah, that we've seen that for a long time. They finally confirmed that.
If I
April 28th.
primarily play the Switch handheld, do you think it's time to upgrade to the OLED?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Man.
You will really see a difference. First of all, it's
Yes.
a bigger screen, and that makes a pretty good difference. That OLED screen is so good. It is. Every time I go from the Steam Deck to the OLED, I'm like, oh, there are still reasons to play the Switch because this OLED screen is so beautiful.
Oh, and the battery is good too.
But yeah, because the OLED
fudge.
screen uses less juice. Yeah. The blacks are just
you
turned
get it?
off.
Damn
I
it!
get it.
I didn't need. Okay.
Yeah. See what
I
you
love
did? See what you did?
I stepped in it. I stepped in it. You know.
You did.
Dolphin, the GameCube and Wii emulator, is heading to Steam.
Aquarium.
The aquarium
Okay.
is breaking loose. It has a store page and everything.
What?
Really?
It is launching
Can we say
Q2
Dolphin?
2023. So, I mean, let's be real. We joke about the aquarium. Emulation is legal. Like it just straight up is legal. Usually that means if it's an emulator, it's been built in this like clean room idea where you are you're backward reverse engineering what the thing was without looking at like the official documentation, without like looking at the official code and getting in there. That would be potentially copyright infringement, I believe, is how that would break down. There are always lawyers in my DMs correcting me on this stuff. Feel free to do so with this as well.
No, but I don't want it.
Just DM me.
No, no, don't. Grub's right.
But
What is law, baby?
Yeah, just do whatever you want. Yeah, that's the true law.
Crime's legal.
But yeah, emulators are legal. It's when you start doing copyrighted material games, so the ROMs and the ISOs, that's the problem. And that stuff won't be on Steam. You have to provide those yourself. You have to provide your own legally obtained backups, as they will probably be referred to in the documentation for this thing. But yeah, this is cool. It's just going to be up there. They're going to launch it. Yeah, like I said, Q2 2023. So here in the next couple of months. I think this is pretty neat, but also kind of weird still.
Oh man,
What does it actually like change in terms of like, look, you're playing Steam on your PC or on a Steam Deck, and it's like, okay, so you already have a PC. What's the big difference between just downloading Dolphin standalone? You know?
So there's not much
Launching it
difference.
from Steam?
There's not much. Well, it's going to keep it up to date for you, but actually, Dolphin has a pretty good self-updater in there, tool in there now.
Does.
Basically, what they're doing here is they're going to make sure that the UI plays really well with Steam. And that the UI is very easy to control from a controller or for a Steam Deck. They've made sure to make sure that this version of Dolphin is going to work really well on Steam Deck. Honestly, this just seems like them trying to get it in front of a different audience than would normally tune in for it. And and Valve is open to this as long as they obey the letter of the law, which seems like they're going to. So it's like it doesn't change much to answer things. Like if you've already been using Dolphin, this isn't going to change anything really.
Dolphin's great.
this is exciting.
Dolphin's fantastic. It's
Like-
an incredible emulator.
Turns out the
I mean-
GameCube has a massive library, so
Yeah,
might finally
I'm just hearing
explore that.
about it. It's crazy that what was the controversy where like Valve had an Switch emulator on the on like a product.
Yeah, they have the
stock
Yuzu,
photo?
the
Citra?
Yuzu
Oh,
Switch emulator.
Yeah,
Or it was Citra or Yuzu or something like
One of
that. And it
those.
was like on the product page for the Steam Deck or
Sure.
something.
So
And then
like,
they
what's the
were like,
difference
"Oopsie."
now? But like,
Well,
what's
the difference is
if you had a Dolphin thing there now, right?
Well, the difference
Like,
is that Valve doesn't want to be looking like they are selling the Steam Deck on
sure,
the promise
and that
of you
they're
playing Nintendo
proactively
games.
encouraging. Like
They could
I get it.
put it in there. It's
Sure.
just like it
It's
might
just in bad taste.
it would create. They're both in the same town, right? They're neighbors.
They
So I
are.
think that's Nintendo of America anyhow. But yeah, this is just them being like, hey, we offer a storefront, and there is no legal reason why we'd have to say no to this. And yeah, RetroArch has also been on Steam for a while. That's right, exactly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy on this Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you up-res Galaxy and Galaxy 2, and you set it to do, like, you can map the motion stuff to, like, an Elite controller. So it's like, oh, to do the spin thing, instead of doing that, you can just do RT or something. Galaxy is awesome on that.
And
man.
Steam Deck's got a touch screen, so you could use that to do the Yoshi Tongue stuff in Galaxy 2.
Always.
That would be a pretty good select. Yeah, Yoshi
Sorry,
Tongue stuff with that touch screen.
Someone add that to the document, please.
Multiverses is closing until 2024.
What?
The game's closing?
Is that the Scooby-Doo game?
Yes.
So-
Are they renovating?
Well, no. Apparently, it was in open beta. In a very bizarre move, WB is ending the quote-unquote open beta of Multiverses, and it doesn't plan to relaunch the game until early 2024. Now, as a reminder, you could have been spending money on characters that they've been putting into this game pretty
Yeah.
regularly for months now.
Yeah.
And now they're like saying, oh, well, that was the open beta. Ha ha. We'll see you next year.
Will those
Clearly,
purchases carry over to the full release?
the purchases will carry over, but
Okay.
they're not offering refunds right now for people who want it.
Wow.
So clearly what's happened here, guys. I'm going to guess. So
Tell us.
I guess the game was failing. It was having less than 1,000 concurrent players on Steam for weeks now, if not months. They are going to take this as an opportunity to rebundle and then re-release and relaunch the game. What does it look like? Do they slap a because it was free to play and they were adding characters? Do they just slap a $20 price tag on there, try to sell it to as many people as they want as like a full complete package, and then move on? That's probably what they end up doing. But I don't know.
This has got to leave a poor taste in like the mouths of people that bought in early, though, or anyone that had interest, right?
Yes.
Because I imagine like the Smash community, who is like the main people they're trying to cater to, will see this happening and be like, nah, fuck that, dude. We're just gonna stick to the fucking GameCube game that we haven't stopped playing for years.
This is we've seen a raft of live service free to play games shut down, or even games that were once a premium price, Knockout City, Rumbleverse. There's a list of games like this that have pulled the plug and gotten out of Dodge. I think that the big issue I think here is these games are in this weird scale where they are they're probably actually pretty expensive to make and run and operate, especially if you're getting putting in new characters all the time and things like that. But they don't have the IP recognition. I mean, I guess the Multiverses should, but it's like, are they capitalizing on that IP recognition in a way that really enables them to get the most out of it? And it's like, well, you compare it to Fortnite, no, it's probably not. And this, of course, this wasn't going to be Fortnite, but it's like, do the publishers know that? Do the publishers know this isn't going to be Fortnite? That's still, I think, a question that hasn't been answered, or maybe it's being answered right now. And it's like they didn't know, and now they realize it, and so they are going to change gears big time here. I don't know when this comes back. Do you guys think this has a chance of just picking up from where it left off, or will it have to be significantly different in terms of business model?
I mean, other than having a price up front this time, I don't know how different they can switch stuff up, because they already had Battle Pass. They were selling characters, so.
Yeah, and if it was already failing in terms of concurrence and everything now, unless it's a different experience in a different game, I don't see why it would suddenly work.
Yeah, and usually the model is the opposite way around, where you start with a price and then go free to play, because that helped out Fall Guys tremendously.
Yeah, yeah.
Grub's really busy.
Okay, let's
Never
see
mind.
here. No, I'm back. Sorry, apparently the TV upstairs is broken. The kids are freaking out, but listen, they don't need TV all the time.
Give him a baseball or something.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a book. Ubisoft is ejecting from E3. The French publisher issued a statement to VGC basically saying it is going to move in a different direction. And that means no
bleu.
E3 for Ubisoft. Sacre bleu indeed.
Grub, sorry to interrupt. I
Please.
just realized, are we in a weird inverse E3 now where the only company that is present is Konami?
Konami wants to be there. Yes.
Because the last few E3s I've gone to, it was quite the opposite.
Yes.
So everyone's there but Konami.
It seems like if it's going to be Konami and Embracer Group, but apparently now not even Sega or Tencent. So there's been an update to this story, but that I haven't included here. So they're going to have Ubisoft Forward Live on June 12th in Los Angeles. I don't know if that means they're going to have an in-person part of that. They'll definitely have the digital, thing, and it probably will happen in Los Angeles. Maybe they'll send out invites to us. We're going to have to wait and see. But this, E3 is falling apart. That's just straight up what's happening.
Yeah.
There was rumors over the weekend that that ReedPop is definitely going to cancel it. Those rumors have been exacerbated by an IGN story that went live since we've been live, where they talked to a few sources, and basically they're hearing what I've been hearing since this past weekend. Most of this started happening at PAX, a ReedPop event. It seems like the ReedPop people at PAX were sort of spreading some of this stuff around. But basically, Sega, Tencent aren't going to be there. A handful of others might be there, but it just sounds like what happened here is ReedPop got started too late. And so most publishers said in this story, by this time in March, our plans are locked in. They are locked in, and we know everything that we're doing, and we're not going to change anything. And it's just the last minute cleanup stuff. And none of that has happened at this point. And it's like that. The reason that hasn't happened is because ReedPop got a late start. Now, in terms of what the show looked like and was going to be, it was exactly the show that publishers wanted, apparently. This is the show that they asked for. ReedPop put it together. It just got started a bit too late. And that seems to have snowballed and spiraled to a point where people are now afraid to commit. Now, there's also, I think, a little bit of a tainting of the water of Jeff Keighley being out there being like, hee, just come to me instead. And no one's saying that they're going to Summer Game Fest, but I think that's creating enough of a like, and do we even need to be there, that these companies are deciding the safe thing is, no, we shouldn't even be a part of E3. So I'm expecting this week, if not this week, then next week, we hear that E3 has been canceled. But
let's get the Grub official odds. What is this going off at? E3 canceled.
That's right. We're adding betting to the Bombcast now, folks.
That's it.
Right.
Friendly
keep track
bets.
of the money line.
Friendly bets. I think it's E3 getting canceled is like minus 400.
Yeah, sure. I'll say it's 90%. I think it's 90% that E3 gets canceled. I think there's a chance.
90%. Wow.
Yeah.
This is like kind of embarrassing at this point. Like they keep talking
now
up
that's like minus a lot
and...
more than that, but yeah, okay.
What was the last like legit E3? Was it 2019?
I think that's when we were all there, right?
That was my first time around at Giant Bomb. Was the last time they had a fucking E3. That's crazy.
Yep.
3 years?
I didn't even go to that one because that one was like
that's
lame,
post
right?
Ghost of Tsushima locking Jeff Baclar in like a weird tent, right?
Yes.
Hey, I was at that event.
That.
Me and Mike Minotti are the only two journalists on Earth who really liked that event.
Oh no, dude! The Last of Us barn thing was just horrifying.
It was fine. We just went from thing to thing, and then they had like food stands, and there was Spider-Man stuff everywhere. We're just like, it's like a theme park. This is nice.
Yeah, of course, Disney boy loved that. I think the beginning was fine. The treats were fine. All the donut walls were fine, right?
Yes, that stuff was good. But no,
you get herded like cattle.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was like they had a couple of games. They showed it off. It was
I got to meet Kenny Omega, and he was dressed up in a blanket. It was great for me.
Right.
We met Neil Druckmann, and Mike was like, "Hey, yo!" And Neil Druckmann's like, kind of like, "Okay," it's just kind of cold shouldered him a little bit. Like, "Fuck yeah, get bent, Mike Minotti, it ruled."
Can someone find me the clip of me calling into the standard where I was like, so
we had you on speakerphone, right?
Yes,
so
I remember
mad.
that was great. That was fantastic.
I was so like, I think something else also happened where like people, just like, you run into people who you're also like, oh, right, this motherfucker again. I got to see this motherfucker. Like,
wow, you met that year.
You were perfect. Like,
thanks a lot.
No. This is before that. But like, you run into people where you're like, fuck, of all the places to meet this dumbass motherfucker, it's got to be in this Last of Us tent with all the, it was something like that.
You're talking about Jeff Grubb then.
Yeah, I didn't know Jeff. I mean, I knew who Jeff Grubb was. I did not know him personally.
We should get more mileage out of the gimmick of Jeff Baclar, grumpy correspondent.
Not a gimmick.
He really should.
Not a gimmick.
He should have to go to everything.
I was shoot pissed, okay?
Shoot hot. You were hot. Yeah.
Shoot hot. I was definitely hot. I was in fucking LA in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh. Not to mention, it's 98 degrees outside. Jesus
that was hot that year.
Christ.
And the AC died in the hotel. It was terrible.
Oh.
I was comfy.
No, well, I'm glad.
I did say shoot pissed, right? Nice.
Yes, you did. It was, so we have not, that was not the last one from Sony, or last E3. Sony wasn't at the last couple. Yeah, we haven't had an E3 since 2019. And Dan, you said this is an embarrassment. It absolutely is. This is this seems unrecoverable at this point. I've always been a fan of E3. I like E3. I think it is a good reason to get a lot of people together. Even if the show floor is underwhelming and maybe a bit pointless, there's still cool people to talk to. There's still things that can happen there, and it's not being able to facilitate that because you can't figure out your own business and you can't get stuff together fast enough. You're an events organization, ReedPop. Like when it was the ESA, it was like, well, this is a buffoon show.
Yeah.
This is a clown. They don't know anything about anything. They suck at this.
Yeah.
And then now it's ReedPop. It's like, you didn't know to get started on this stuff a little bit earlier. Like, what were you? Nope. They just dropped the ball.
Man, I
take no joy in it falling apart like this. Like a lot of my favorite memories. Like I've been going since 06. You know, I love the E3 experience. Like you said, Jeff, even when like the show floor is weak or whatever, or there's no big reveals or anything. But in the last few years, the luster I think has been permanently damaged from the last few years. Like we're gonna do it. Oh wait, fuck. Oh no, it sucks. And oh no, it's not gonna happen. Never mind. Like it's just. Yeah. It's dead. It's dead.
Yeah, even from like the inside baseball perspective, like I don't know what we're gonna do. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So I've talked to some people about this, and there will be things happening in LA that week, whether E3 is happening or not. Now, is it enough? I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll have to have that conversation. But I mean, I still lean towards maybe we go there and we just call it, the E3's dead tour, and we just we put a bow on it. We put it in the grave. E3, rest in peace, E3 tour.
Let's have some 40s.
We'll make the merch. That makes sense.
Yeah,
40s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Let's just go. Let's just do it.
Sure.
Let's just go. I think.
Rain or shine.
Yeah.
3/4 of this call is going to be in LA soon, and I'm taking it to Dr. Hoggly Woggly's Tyler, Texas barbecue.
Hell yes, we
I'm
are.
so excited for this.
Yes,
so excited
taking me to the doctor.
Yes. Okay. We got a homeboy we got to talk to about that as well. So
I feel really, really bad for all of the AV people that like really relied on E3 to be like the big payday, and like all the fucking people that design booths.
A lot of triple point. A little triple point, like associates that like, hey, that for a week I know I'm gonna get a paycheck. Like, yeah.
It's man, fuck. That sucks. Cause like I had a lot of friends that like would get really juiced when E3 came to town because like that was a definite payday, and like they had built up connections, and all that shit is just dried up now. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what the news breaks about E3, and we'll come back with that either on Game Miss Mornings on next week's Bombcast. But it does seem pretty grim for the prospects of this year's E3. Jeff Keighley only retweeted the Ubisoft thing, didn't like come out and be like, "Well, Summer Game Fest is doing this."
Motherfucker.
I know.
But we're still waiting to hear one way or the other.
Dude,
he is messy about this stuff, and I don't think he even tries to hide it.
This cheeky guy.
He doesn't seem like a guy who would get that kind of messy, but
I think for
once
E3,
the lights
he's
go
ready
off,
I mean, listen,
puts on the brass knuckles.
It's more money for our boy. Like that's what that means. It just means more money for our boy. So.
We just went from Pacino to De Niro, motherfucker.
If he fires Jeff Jarrett live on the air at Summer Games Fest, we'll know it's really dead.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a deep cut.
It feels like Keighley's been like presenting himself as the underdog, but he's not the underdog, man.
No, definitely not.
It's like, like just go to my show instead. It's just a small one.
Yeah, just a little DIY, like whatever.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens next with that.
Mike.
The Kaiser Soze of games media.
The other big stories this week, U.S. Congress members make weird statement about PlayStation's monopoly in Japan. This is pretty embarrassing as well.
What?
Yeah,
This
so
is stupid as shit.
this is a waste of everyone's time is how I've marked it here. In a Senate Finance Committee meeting, Senator Maria Cantwell, Democrat of Washington State, which is relevant.
Can't do her job well.
Yeah, thank you, Jen.
She was all like, I heard that Sony has a 98% market share of the high-end gaming market. Someone should do something. I'm paraphrasing that, but she did say 98% of the high-end gaming market.
What does that mean, Maria?
It means, well, okay. So that's like how the FTC framed it. And so like, this is like, and how Sony, when like Sony's like, well, Nintendo doesn't count. So they were like working backward from like not counting Nintendo, but it would be just a batshit crazy thing for someone who is a representative of the United States government to go to Japan and be like, why does PlayStation have a monopoly on video games in Japan? And then someone from Japan shows them the charts and it's like 20 of the top 20 best-selling games last year were all Nintendo games. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Tell me you've been lobbied without showing me you've been lobbied, right? Like, come on.
And this is like clearly Microsoft is a Washington State company. Nintendo America also won. So it's like they're leaving Nintendo out of this as well. So it's like that's also pretty convenient. But it's like this is clearly someone who's like one of the biggest employers in my state, even if, and she's definitely receives a lot of donations from Microsoft employees, not from Microsoft itself, but even like regardless of that, biggest employer in your state, a big thing that gets Congress people to move things. This seems like her working backwards from having one or two conversations with aides or people who represent people at Microsoft, and then coming out and saying some wild shit. And it just is like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're doing this. It just looks stupid.
Yeah, very stupid.
Go fix some potholes instead, man. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's clearly more important things to be working on right now for Congress people. All right, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora images leak. Yes, the gameplay may leak soon. So we got one image that's basically, it makes it look like a military first-person shooter, but your hand is blue instead of like a red white. Yeah. And it's okay, and it's like they're shooting it at a mech that looks like one of the mechs that the guy has at the end of Avatar 1. I haven't seen Avatar 2 yet still. But yeah, the guy with the knife. I know, I failed. I know. I want to see it before it's like really out of theaters.
That's the most you movie.
I know. I know.
Why?
I love Avatar 1 too.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm like, I really want to see Avatar 2. But yeah, it looks just kind of like looks like Titanfall, honestly, because there's a mech and you're shooting them at the mech, and then there's a little soldier running behind the mech. But this is one screenshot. It looks like a first-person shooter. Apparently, the word is that's not representative of the entire game, which I would kind of hope, because Avatar, I do not associate with like Call of Duty. I associate it with maybe being like this world exploration game, a Zelda, a Far Cry, something along those lines. Whether or not we actually get something like that, it still remains to be seen. But, you know, Avatar is like coming on the heels of Hogwarts Legacy being a very successful game. This feels like this could be similar if it gets good reviews. They keep delaying it. It's from Massive, the company, or the developer did The Division. I don't know. It seems maybe promising, but when you guys, I don't have the image right here, but I could get it to you. But you guys hear it's a first-person shooter is what we've seen so far. Is that exciting?
No.
I want to be able to do a flip out of the water. I want to do Echo Dreamcast controls.
I want to tie my tail dick to another tail dick and merge.
Dude, I want to befriend the whale.
I want to merge. What do they call it? Do they have a name for that? Disgusting thing.
Hang on, let me wait for the kid to leave the room. They call it fucking.
They call it fucking in the movie? That's surprising.
No, just teach James Cameron how to develop a video game, and then
show James Cameron a dick in a vagina
for any one man. That's too much power.
And then like I'll buy any VR helmet you want. Just let me befriend the Tulkun, man. I just want to ride with the fucking Tulkun and just tell them
befriend the Tulkun. We know what you're really talking about.
Just call them bro, you know?
Do you genuinely think this game is a first-person shooter only?
No. Based on Andy Robinson over VGC said he heard that it's like there's more going on than what's in that thing, but that screenshot just straight up looks like Call of Duty. It's wild.
I agree. I could not be less interested in a game, but also at the same time, I'm fairly confident that that is not. How could the whole game be a shooter? How could that be? How could you do that? How could that be?
Is this supposed to fit into the timeline at all? Is this supposed to explain
it seems like the kind of thing
gap?
James Cameron would take pretty seriously. So I'm
like 24 of the game. We're filled in the gaps between season 2 and 3.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say 24 of the game that filled in the gaps between seasons 2 and 3. I was going to say just like that.
Yeah.
Also, it's a leaked image that's not, state run, right? So, who knows what the hell that thing is?
Yeah, but it's from Script Leaks R6 Siege on Twitter, who's a known leaker. Sorry, I'm really into leaker names these days.
No, leaker names are awesome.
Yes.
Let's all be clear.
And I tweeted this. It's usually someone like Bilbo Cum and stuff like that. So.
Pretty great.
Yeah,
they're up there with the old Wares clans.
Love it.
Yes.
For sure. But what?
Put it in the doc, everybody. Put it in the doc.
What? Oh, what you just said?
Yeah,
don't
sorry.
actually put that,
Don't put it in the doc.
Listen, no AI art, please.
Oh, God.
All right, Resident Evil 4 Remake has series best debut on Steam. I skipped one here. I'll go back to that in a second. It peaked at 168,191 concurrent players. That beats Village's 106,000 concurrent players.
Oh.
Obviously, I think we kind of knew Resident Evil 4 would be a big deal. This is a really good launch for this game. It seems like that's a lot of players for any game to have on Steam at any one time. And this is a game that isn't probably going to even do its biggest numbers on PC. It's going to be even bigger, probably twice the size on PlayStation 5 and probably even Xbox. So this is going to be probably one of the best-selling games of the year, if not in the end the best-selling, and also be the best-selling Resident Evil game Period. It seems like it's well on its way to be that.
Yeah.
I mean, well deserved. I think also I'm not bummed, but like part of me just wants to play this on Steam Deck now. Like I can't believe that how well it runs.
It's incredible. Like you're going to be blown away. Yeah. I mean, if you're used to the resolution mode, you might have like a hard time. I did not like do that first, so I'm like okay with it. But I don't know what I'm necessarily missing out on. But I'm just really happy with the performance overall. That's where I'm at. Never mind. I am going to just skip that story. Okay. I kind of don't want to talk about it anyhow. Cool. Atari is acquiring Night Dive Studios. This is a weird one as well. We got a lot of weird stories this week. Atari is getting that team responsible for remasters of Doom 64 and Quake. They did Power Slave Exhumed, a really good one that I liked from last year. They purchased Night Dive for around $10 million. And I've thought about like how this fits. Atari, the company known for speaker hats and Atari hotels, of course. They seem to be turning back to nostalgia-based content. They've had recently a lot of things where they've remastered some of their older games. They've had like Yar's Revenge and did like that Recharge and a bunch of others. There's a lot of their older games they've done that with. They also have put out packages of like, here are old Atari games, like repackaged with super nice packaging in a collection of like 10 games, and it costs $1,000. And they've done a lot of stuff like that. So it's like they're leaning back towards, hey, we're an old video game company. We want to be known for that. Night Dive Studios would give them the opportunity to sort of do that, but then expand it to be like, okay, and we could give the same treatment to other games from like previous generations that maybe are less associated with Atari. Although Night Dive Studios would also probably make a pretty good Aliens versus Predators as well, a remaster of one of those. So Night Dive also is doing that System Shock remake. So this gives Atari a sort of a strong link back into just straight up making games. And good for them, I guess. I mean, Atari always feels like they're either going towards NFTs or some other scam. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
They have enough money for this?
Yeah, that was weird too. But $10 million is not, I guess you can probably borrow that if you're like a company that's been around for a long time.
Can I borrow that?
I think it's I think Giant Bomb wants to borrow $10 million. I bet we can make that happen.
Get you that.
What's the downside?
I'll get you that by this afternoon.
Oh, all right.
Sony was Metacritic's top publisher of 2022. According to Giant Bomb's Metacritic's top publishers of 2022 list, Sony Interactive Entertainment was at the top. Also, SIE. Every time I see Alpha Protocol, they talk about SIE. I'm like, Sony Interactive Entertainment? That's not exactly what they're talking about there.
We don't have to talk about that game.
Yeah, I've noticed you're not a fan. It had an average Metacritic of 85.6. Sony did. That put it ahead of publishers like number 2 Paradox, number 3 Activision, number 4 Focus Home Entertainment. And Nintendo and Xbox did not make the top 10 at all. So kind of a good year for Sony, not necessarily a great year for Nintendo or Xbox, but we've known about the consistency of Sony releases for a very long time. This is not very surprising. They've topped this list before, and I think they were number 2 the year before. All right, finally, Unreal Editor for Fortnite launches, turns game into Roblox.
No.
So I've learned a little bit more about how this works since then. We talked about, can you like manipulate the game from like a phone? No, there is an Unreal Engine for Fortnite app that you download from the desktop client of Epic Game Store, and that's where you make the stuff. And then from Creative Mode 2.0, which is what the community calls getting to the creative mode, you could do that from any platform at that point. So you could experience the stuff anywhere. You could only make the stuff from the desktop because it's basically just Unreal Engine proper, like anything else. They've also changed up how they are doing what they're calling their creator economy. They're calling it Creator Economy 2.0. Creators who create this stuff and make new content for Fortnite get 40%, like a split of the 40% of net revenue. So it means the profits that Epic makes gets 40% of it gets split among the people who are getting people to play the content, and they're going to base this basically on how popular something is, how much time people spend playing it. So it's going to be this nebulous thing. It's going to be kind of weird, but if you make something that's super popular, Epic's just going to hand you a check based on the profits that Fortnite's making. I guess ideally here, like if you make something like in Roblox, there are games that people are just massively popular and have hundreds of thousands of players playing all the time, every day. And if you're something like that, there's chances you're going to get checks worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from Epic from this. So I've looked at some of the video of what people are making. They got John Wick fighting, mechs, and it looks incredible. It looks like Roblox looks like junk. Of course, it's been around since 2006. This just looks like straight up awesome. Like the YouTube videos you get of, something remade in Unreal Engine. Yep. Well, now they have that, and they have all the characters they've licensed from Fortnite, and they can just go and do that. It looks incredible.
I saw a Spider-Man game. It's great. I talked about this on Game S Mornings. I think here's what we're going to do, folks. My partner, she's getting her master's degree in teaching. I'm going to take that master's degree. I'm going to Photoshop my name onto it. I'm going to get hired at a school. Going to start a course in game development. And then I'm going to give these tools to the children. I'm going to have them make a game for the class. We're going to sell the game as a project. And then I'm going to rake in the benefits, y'all. This is how we get that 10 million easy.
Don't tell the kids you're doing that. Just monetize the kids. They don't, need to. It's all you. It's all Jan.
We talked about this on Game S Mornings. It's going to be School of Rock, but with video games.
Sure. I love it.
That sounds great.
Monetize the teens. Jan, that does it for the news. I'm handing the show back over to you. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me for that awesome news segment.
Thank you, Grub.
I shouldn't monetize the children, probably, right?
Monetize the children, Jan.
Monetize the gimmicks
Right away.
Monetize the gimmicks.
All right. Okay. I can't teach a dog how to code, I think. But children, they're a little bit more malleable, with their brains at least, a little bit. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick Ricky break, and then we're going to get back with some electronic mails, some shout-outs, and then that'll be the show. We'll see you in just a bit. Wow, it worked.
Yeah.
Emails. You want to get your emails read on the show, send them to bombcast@giantbomb.com. Again, if you want to avoid an awkward social situation and want to pretend to text someone, don't pretend. Send us a fun email. Tell us where you're at, why it's awkward. If your ex showed up because they got summoned because you're a vampire hunter, holler at your boys. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. First email comes from Jeff from Quebec City. Hey, crew. They write in. I just found an article about 15 games to play while you're working from home. This article doesn't matter, but I found it on remotefilipinoworker.com. What's the next level bonkers website name you found something useful on? Jeff from Quebec City.
That's a good one.
That's just me.
Yeah. I'm trying to think I just my Google feed is just so stuffed with just bad faith website existences. You
talk about like when you swipe over on your Android and you get that Google News feed essentially, but it's like not even just
used
news.
to mean something.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it never really did because it's been like this for years. But it was like the kind of thing where any website on here is pretty much going to be one that's like, and here's what the PlayStation 6 looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Sonic free trailer?
You're just lying. Like, this is just lying. It's like, yeah, but it gets engagement. So
and Google's like, we reward that.
Yeah, but that's like sometimes it's websites I recognize. What is that Boy Genius Report, BGR? Like it'll be them or something. That's like, guys, aren't you supposed to be reputable? No. Website names are fun. Gaming Bible. I'm looking at right now. Gaming Bible. I bet there's some good stuff on there.
Bible's in your name. It's just like, what are we? I don't know.
I mean, for some other people, that's great. That's what they're looking for.
Insider gaming, I hardly even know we're gaming. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna shut up for the rest of the episode.
Wow, Jeffrey. Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow. The real answer here to this is giantbomb.com.
Yeah.
You find
probably right.
Hours and hours of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Some information. Mostly
all of it useful.
Mostly just
it's like
if you're a slut for content and want to watch content, giantbomb.com is the place to be.
We're very pro slut here, everybody.
Yeah, we're in our slut
positive.
era.
We're in our slut era. Game sluts. GameSluts.com. So get that for me real quick.
Okay, Joe in Michigan writes in. If the naming convention for the new Zelda games is bodily excretion of the location, what is the next game called? Joe in
Leakage
Michigan.
of the penis?
All right, moving on.
Leakage, that was easy, Dan. Good job.
Yep, leakage of the penis. Okay, anyone have had anything else to follow up? No? Mike Minotti writes semen of the ass. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's all right. It's the third segment. We can get a little wild.
That's right. Yes. The censors have stopped listening.
Exactly.
Popping of the hemorrhoid?
Uh-huh.
That's
but
not
like it's
the excretion, but
I think
stuff comes out.
we need to think of like location more because Kingdom isn't like a body part.
Right.
Right. All right.
Right. So it could be anything. It could be like
semen of the palace. That could work.
Right. It could be like There's not a ton of bodily excretion. Like it could be like the oozing of the jungle or something like that.
Oozing of the jungle.
Like
we got fun and come.
The mucus of the lamb.
Legend of Zelda, pus of the party.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that. Pus of the palace.
A little POP, huh? Boogers of the Alamo. Fantastic.
Lactation of the city.
Lactation, yeah. That's good.
All right. That was a fun, creative little exercise for everyone.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Next email comes from Scott from Clearfield. I'm going to assume that's Utah. Hey, Bombers. So I was thinking about the Suicide Squad presentation and all the things everyone hates about it. It's always online, has a battle pass, you're chasing loot to make numbers go up slightly, menus with all sorts of stats, and that one screen grab where the item did extra damage to Batman infected enemies, to name a few. Fast forward a month, and everyone is playing Diablo 4 beta, and this game has all of those things, and everyone seems to love it. I haven't even seen much complaining that Blizzard wants to sell you battle passes. Suicide Squad is just the end result of what Diablo started all those years ago, and the loot chasing. I'm not saying everyone is wrong to feel the way they do about Suicide Squad. I have no interest in that game either, but why do you think everyone is okay with all those things in Diablo when everyone is so angry about Suicide Squad?
I think
Diablo's really good.
Yeah, I think Diablo earns it, right? I think it's an earned thing, is what it is.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
I think that's what it is. It's just always been there. It's what it is. It's just honestly, it's like this feels like it's returning to its roots. I mean, obviously it has a battle pass, but I mean, even that, it's like it's all cosmetics, right? Maybe it's not, but it's the game is fun and it does those things. I think this is the game where it's like also people are pointing out like, oh, Activision and Blizzard have a lot of problems, and people aren't pointing that out. And it's like, yeah, we'll point it out. Activision, Blizzard have a lot of problems. They've treated employees like really bad a lot. So we'll keep talking about that as well. But it's I think it's just Suicide Squad feels like one that is trying to cobble together a bunch of stuff that has worked at other games, and they're like, can this work for us? And that feels desperate. Diablo just feels like, fuck it, we're gonna do what we do, and that feels confident. Yeah, and it's way different. That is way different vibes.
Do you think it's also partially because maybe us as a society kind of have superhero fatigue?
Yes.
I just don't. I don't know if that's fully true. I think normal people have superhero fatigue. I just don't know if that's a universal truth.
I think it's becoming more true every day, I think. And this looks like a dumb one. It's okay. It's a superhero game. Here's your AK-47. Well, okay. What?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Grub. It looks dumb. Diablo looks cool.
Diablo does look
simple
very
as
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, boys. Next email comes from no, not Scott. That was the last one. Chris from Virginia. Hey, Bomb Squad. I think periodically about Animal Crossing New Horizons and how weirdly Nintendo treated that game. Can you make it make sense for me, or is it really as wild as I think it is? It sold almost 40 million units and is a game basically tailor-made to be consistently updated with live service-style content. To be fair, we got a few decent updates, one expansion, but all the holiday events are the same. It just feels like we should have gotten more, and I just know that folks would have eaten up any new morsel. Was it the pandemic? Could we have expected a more lively Animal Crossing if the team didn't have to adjust so hard to working from home? Maybe I just wish Nintendo would learn about the internet so I can have the Animal Crossing game that I dream about. Chris, I think you answered your own question there.
Yep. They got there by the end. Nintendo's always 2 to 3 console generations behind online. So,
yep. And it's Animal Crossing, what is the phone one called? Happy Campers or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's out there. That exists. If that's what you want, you try to play that. It's definitely not going to deliver all the Animal Crossing fun that you really are aiming for. But this is just the way Nintendo is. They made it the way they always make Animal Crossing, so they're going to make it that way again. That's it. They still use fax machines. It's Nintendo.
I hear those are real hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next email comes from Jacob. Hello, Giant Bomb crew. This past weekend, I had the pleasure of seeing REO Speedwagon in concert for the 5th time with my family. I'm only 28, and somehow this is the band I've seen the most live. So I was wondering, what band or group have you seen the most live in concert? Thank you for the joy you bring every week. Jacob from Wichita, Kansas. P.S. I'll be seeing Journey and Toto in concert here next month. So I'll be sure to think of Bacalar in his Strange Twilight episode when Africa starts playing. Jacob, sent from an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, they might not play Africa. You never know.
Oh,
They have to.
I think they might. I think they might.
What if that's the only thing they play?
You know what? That song's still good. Okay.
Yeah.
I still like it a lot, which is a testament to it.
So technically, it's probably my brother-in-law's band. Thank you, scientists, because obviously it's family. Whenever they're around, we see them. But outside of that,
I feel like I've seen them a bunch now too. To be honest,
Parliament Funkadelic, I think, and I've been on stage with them for a night and seen them a bunch. And
I love them.
Yeah, the time on stage with them when I was 18
drugs.
was amazing. That was great. So yeah, P-Funk.
I'm trying. It's either like Korn or like 311 because I was a real shitty person there for a
Hell
while.
yeah.
So,
311. Like, who was telling me the other day that 311's like their favorite band, and I like stopped myself from laughing.
I laugh whenever I hear like Amber or Now or whatever.
Because they seem like decent guys.
Yeah,
like
they're fine. They're just just playing their cargo short music. Like
311's fine. Like, it's cool. They go on a cruise. They do their all mixed up shit. Like, it's fine. Whatever. The bands I've seen the most, probably Green Day, Mastodon, and I'm trying to maybe like. It's definitely a ska band is like number 3, but it's probably like a local New Jersey or New York one, save for the bands I used to tour with. But like that's a good threesome there, like just Green Day, Mastodon, and then just the general.
I think I've seen Garth Brooks like 3 times.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He opened for 311.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would rule.
I think I've probably seen. I don't think I've seen a band multiple times, but I think I've actually seen Green Day the most, maybe.
There you go.
As a band. Individual acts, it's probably Donald Glover or Kendrick. Do we count festivals in this?
Yes.
I think if you see the act at the festival, that counts.
Okay, so then I think
it might be Disturbed then for me actually.
Oh, see, maybe it shouldn't count. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. I think in total, then I think I've actually seen Green Day the most. And then Blink 182 right underneath that.
Green Day at a Green Day show, like they will literally play for 3.5 hours, and you're just like, "What the fuck is happening? How are they doing this?"
The thing you got to see is Green Day in like a Bay Area show because Billy Joe's constantly going, "Bay Area!"
Nice.
Oh God,
that's sick.
My 311 concert was the last one I went to. Is the one that's like I'm probably done with my concert days for the most part because it was and this was a long time ago. I was like 20, so I wasn't allowed to drink, and I was drinking, and so I didn't have the wristband. They found me and they kicked me out. So I went out to the minivan that we all drove. My minivan that we all drove there. And my friend had left all of his weed in there, and I basically smoked all of it. And because I was alone, I got kicked out. They were all still in there partying, and so I went up around the side. I'm trying to think of people from Columbus, Ohio. The name of the place. I think it's like called Live Nation now. It was called something else back then. So there was these train tracks that run along the side of it. So I was kind of like trying to like get up and look in and see if there was a way to sneak in. And as I'm like I'm basically like crawling on the ground almost, thinking I'm being super sneaky. And my brother and my friend, who had been kicked out from like 500 yards away, just spot me and yell, "Jeff, what are you doing?" I'm just like, I'm trying to sneak in. So they come over with me, and we asked someone who's back there, "Hey, just get us in." He's like, "Just hop the fence and go in." He didn't care. But we look at each other. Okay. It's a really tall fence. We hop over it, and I like scrape my stomach on the top part of the pokey fence. So I'm like, cut open a little bit, but I get in there and I'm so amped up on adrenaline at this point. I just run in there. I see my friends like, "How'd you get back in?" And then on the way out, of course, the people who had kicked us out were like, oh my, how did we, because I of course tried to get back in a million times so other ways, and they found me in there, and I'm like, I got back in, don't worry, it was a great concert. It was yeah, I'm like, okay, that was a good time. I'm probably not going to beat that. And the fact that 311 was playing didn't have an effect on anything. I was just like, all right, you were just kind of background music at this point.
And you did that every Saturday.
Exactly.
Grub, you are extremely from the Midwest. I say that as someone from the Midwest.
No, but that's
Midwest
like
ass story.
That story, no, but that's a quintessential going to shows as a kid story. Like, I feel like from the ages of 14 to 23 or something
25.
like that, I was, okay, there you go. We'll allow it. I was going to like 3 to 5 shows a month of just like being that, kind of weirdo. I think I could probably say less than Jake and this band Midtown are probably like my number 3s now that I really think about it.
I've seen Less Than Jake live.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. They're ska, right?
They are ska.
Yeah.
My of the three of us that were trying to hop the fence, it was me, my brother, and the other guy. I'm like, see my brother at the top of the thing. We're hopping over like, fuck yeah. And we're like, oh, I'm sure our friend's right behind us. We found later, he couldn't climb the fence. He just gave up and just went back to the fence and waited the entire time.
I love it.
Had already smoked all the weed, so he's just sitting there doing nothing. So
that's awesome. I love it.
Hey, pro tip for people going to a music festival, after taking an edible, don't take more because it takes a while to kick in. It's not going to expedite the process. It will make you time travel. And don't hook up any payment methods to your phone because you might wind up buying 5 chicken parm sandwiches.
Okay. Could be worse.
I mean, who could say?
Yo, okay. All right. That place that sold chicken parm sandwiches was a local restaurant. I go and visit the local restaurant. They don't have chicken parm sandwiches. Why would you go to a festival and sell chicken parm sandwiches if you're not going to actually put that on your actual menu? Next email comes from Alex from Reno. Hey, Bombers. Alex from Reno called in about a snowball in their freezer. This is a follow-up. Hey, Bombers. This is Alex from Reno, and I thought I'd send some context behind the bag of snow voicemail since Backlar asked why I had the bag of snow in the freezer. While at work, I injured my hand from the metal edges of a binder closing shut on it. Okay. And when I went to put on some ice on it, I discovered there was no ice in the break room freezer. It was winter, so I grabbed a bunch of snow as an alternative and continued to use that because I had no ice in the freezer at home. The bag of snow is still in my freezer. My current plan is to wait until the hottest day of the summer and throw it at the ground.
Take that, ground.
Thanks to keep them the great word.
Fuck yeah, perfect. No notes. You got it.
Yeah, no notes.
Perfectly done.
I was going to say maybe just like put it on top of yourself and sunbathe and wait for it to melt, but
but that's cold, man. You'll fuck yourself up there.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how hot it is. You pour snow on yourself, you're like, you'll have a moment for sure.
I lie in the hammock, and if it's hot, I take the hose and I just shoot it up in the air, and I let it all just kind of rain on me while I'm in the hammock.
Yeah, that probably looks awesome from far away. Like, hey, get a load of this idiot. That probably looks awesome.
We should go to a water park. I don't know how to swim, but we should go to a water park.
Oh,
I
Jen,
love water parks.
My sweet
They're
baby
great.
Jen. Water parks, swimming is not a necessary skill to possess.
6th grade me would beg to argue because my friend Caesar didn't tell me is that this slide ended in a big pool, and I looked mad silly afterwards.
No.
Well, yeah, I get it. I mean, look, and everyone, they got plenty of lifeguards. Plus, I'll help you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got you.
I'll be the.
I'm your human floaty.
Human floaty. Add it to the doc, folks.
Human floaty.
All right. Final email comes from Derek from Ottawa. They write in. Hi, Bomb Crew. I'm loving all this Resident Evil nostalgia, but how come no one ever mentions my personal favorite RE game? What's more, people act like it doesn't exist. Of course, I'm talking about the actual best RE game, Resident Evil Dead Aim.
Oh.
The PS2 light gun shooter, starring everyone's favorite. Can you quit it, dog?
Scout loves that shit.
Favorite RE characters, Bruce, McGivern, and Fong Ling. What? This game can be controlled entirely with the GunCon 2 and lets you switch between third-person walking controls and first-person light gun shooting. That's right, RE10 controls with a light gun. Do any of you
GunCon? I should buy that.
Love a game
get this.
that other people refuse to acknowledge? Thanks, all. Derek from Ottawa.
There was that Resident Evil arcade game that me and Mike and Jess played in that Chicago arcade, where it was like, you think it's a light gun shooter, and then you go to play it, and then it's like first person, and you like move by moving the gun.
Oh, weird.
And that was super weird. I think that was Resident Evil. Yeah, it was super strange. But no one ever acknowledges that one because, of course, that wasn't in many actual arcades.
I'm gonna buy a dead aim. I've never played this. I am curious about this now.
You got a CRT.
Yeah,
I do, and a GunCon 2 and a PS2.
I'm sure you have everything you need. Like,
yeah, okay, excellent.
Let's do it. I don't know if I have a game that people refuse to acknowledge. Man, when you guys, well, okay, we'll try and there's a. It's the answer to this is probably an in-person like retro arcade thing.
Okay.
You know, it's probably
Street Fighter 1.
Oh, where like everyone's like, what's
no one
this?
talks about that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. No one refuses to acknowledge pinball. You take that back, chat. But
Time
Plenty of
Killers.
freaks do.
Yeah.
Time Killers in the arcade. You could chop off arms and legs.
It was in the arcade,
like,
really?
It was during the like Me Too, fucking Mortal Kombat. Like, you know, hey, we're more violent. We're more like, you know,
right?
like that
Totally. Yeah.
Time Killers
okay.
was one of those. Yeah.
Misunderstood you there.
I thought Time Splitters.
No, that kicks ass. People acknowledge Time Splitters.
Yes.
The tribal chief.
Yes.
All right, that about does it for emails. Once again, you can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. I originally had a shout out section in this Google Doc, but someone deleted it. So shouts out to no one.
Really?
Well, okay. There's Revenge of the shout outs. Okay, shouts out to me. All the bad looking Paramount Plus shows they keep getting on Twitch ads, Spectrum ads, and Frank. Shouts out to Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Frank,
can I ask do you guys watch what's that Kevin Costner show on Paramount?
Yellowstone?
Yeah, Yellowstone. You guys ever watch Yellowstone?
No, I heard it's like Sopranos for hillbillies.
It is Sopranos for boomers. Is right. Is what it is.
Sopranos was Sopranos for boomers. What do you mean?
Yeah, but like, okay, fair enough. You're right. But it's like, what if you were even more a boomer today? It is really bad, actually. It's really bad. It's the biggest show on TV, apparently. It's got like 15 million viewers for every episode. I'm so confused.
I'm starting to get to the point where I don't know if I'm starting to like question people's perception of my taste, or I in turn am questioning other people's taste. I've been recommended a number of shows recently that have all been dog shit.
Okay.
And
like
couldn't get it past like the first maybe 2 episodes. I'm not even going to give Yellowstone a shot because
spill. I need to know.
Well, Yellowstone's obviously not for me, but like this one is understandable. I thought Wednesday was actually very bad. I know it's kind of a hot take.
It's really popular. I haven't
It's
watched
incredibly popular. I think like Jenna Ortega's fantastic as Wednesday.
She's huge in WWE 2K23.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know what that. God, I just don't know what that means.
She is.
She's great. I think like there's a lot of fun things about that show. I just thought the story was so bad, and only the last episode was good, right?
Yeah.
So I keep having this happen, and I'm starting to worry that like
I'm with you.
You know, I'm starting to worry that like everyone's taste, and like look at like what didn't Paramount Plus come out the other day, and they're like, we're done with cerebral television. We want to keep it stupid. Like I think they kind of said that.
Basically, yeah, and every show they're making is basically a show from the guy that made Yellowstone. He's got like several spinoffs.
They have a prequel.
Yes, they have 2 prequels. Harrison Ford, and then that's like the earlier prequel, and then there's another one that like is in between that. They have one where it's like this is Yellowstone, but it's Sylvester Stallone, and he's a mobster who now lives in Wichita.
Oh no, I might watch that.
I mean,
I want to watch it too, but it's like I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like that Kevin Costner. I wanted to watch the Kevin Costner show. I love Kevin Costner, and it's like well, go watch it. And it's like okay. It is there's a viral clip of Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park saying like here's how you write a script. It should never be this happened and then this happened and then this happened. It should be this happened, therefore this happened, but then this happened. And Yellowstone is the most and then this and then this and then this show I've ever fucking seen. It's like and this won't be exaggerations. This is stuff that happened. Like and then there was a bear and then there was a weird couple hanging off a cliff and then the lady got punched by one of her students because she's a teacher. And it's what? And I'm like, I actually can't handle this. It's just way too dumb. And it's like all of their shows are going to be like that. I think TV's actually starting to get worse again. There's like, I like Andor, and that's it these days.
Succession's back.
Succession's back.
Right,
Look,
HBO
Succession-
Sunday shows. Okay,
And I
HBO Sunday
love
shows are so
Succession.
good.
I'm very much obsessed with that show, but you can't deny that there is a very formulaic, repetitive story like cycle that happens on that show, where it's essentially just like, it's I guess a more cerebral like Entourage really when it comes down, because there's a lot of like weird overlap where it's like, wait, we got the part, no, we didn't get the part, well maybe we'll get the part next week, like it's
With
that kind of
Succession?
thing. Yeah, look, I love Succession.
There is
I'm
a lot
not
like at the
talking
end
shit
of a
about that
season,
show,
it's
but
like, oh, fucking everything's changed, and at the beginning of the next season, it's kind of like, okay, so has this changed?
yeah, I just think I enjoy that show. I think it's very good. I think the performances are very strong. I think some of the characters on that show are great, and that's the difference between like a formulaic cyclical kind of experience and a prestige show like Succession. But yeah, I think that's what's happening with like the Yellowstones, right? They're like, yo, Tom Selleck's mustache, right? Blue Bloods. Let's just do that with no commercials and call and like sell OTT subs, and that's it. That's what you're getting, folks. So a little bit more production value, a little bit more budget, and there you have it.
Everyone should check out Reservation Dogs, though. Fucking fantastic.
I heard that's
comedy.
good.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
People like the new Party Down. That's cool.
Yeah, it was
Odin.
surprising that people were into that. I thought they wouldn't, but yeah, very cool.
MacGruber on Peacock. And WrestleMania goes home.
That's the next Zelda game. MacGruber on Peacock.
MacGruber, the ultimate secretion.
Yeah.
Folks, next week is going to be a little bit funky on the site.
That's right.
3/4 of this call are going to be traveling and away, but there will still be content. We'll have a Bombcast next week. It will not be live. It'll be a pre-recorded Jimmy Jam. No dump truck next week, kind of. The dump truck will be happening on Sunday because Dan, Grubb, and I will be at DreamHack. If you're going to be in San Diego, holla at your boys. We'll be there gallivanting
Also,
around.
hit us with those calls relevant to DreamHack. So, like, slightly gaming related is what they requested. So, give us some calls to 707 Exit Flu. Leave those voicemails.
If you want to somehow integrate into your gaming question a cover of a song that includes the word piss, by all means, I will allow it.
By all means.
By all means.
That's going to be 10 a.m. on a Sunday. That's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But yes. Yes, Jeff.
No, I want to, because we talked about the merch store at the Discord Q&A. I want to update that. I've now placed 2 orders of merch. I've done it. I've seen the store. I've made the orders. We're gonna hopefully have some shirts to give away at DreamHack. So we'll have that in the hands of you guys. It's just a little bit of red tape right here at the end. It could, we'll let you know, but we're there. We're totally there. We just gotta
I've
do
seen
a couple things here and there. We gotta we have to pay them. We have to pay the people who are doing the store for us. We gotta pay them, and that's not coming right away. Everything takes forever. That's how it works. The glacial pace of it all. But we're right here. So
we're right here, but we won't be here next week. But we promise fun shenanigans nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll make it up to
Traveling
you.
will be done.
I recorded a Play It Forward, so we'll have one of those in the can ready to go.
That's right. Exactly.
Me and Mitch.
Check out this week's Play It Forward, because just based off of editing it, and I tried to not listen to it as much as possible, lots and lots of giggling with Bakalar and Minotti.
Yes.
Maybe too much giggling.
actually, you can
no
never
such
have
thing.
enough.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just-
right.
Man,
By the way,
when I
Backler, nice job leaving him when he has to play next with this escort mission bullshit.
Oh, it's impossible.
that he has to start with after a week.
I mean, it's impossible. It was so impossibly hard to do. But man, I could just watch that little idiot just squat and walk around.
It's
Like,
okay. Something I told Grubb with Mike, because we've all played it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The way Michael Thorne walks is like how the servers walk at an Alamo Draft House.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That was such a good bit. Yes.
Wow.
Just 'cause,
that
it's like a
kills me.
flat back, just like
Yeah.
Yep.
fucking it's a great run. It's a great run. All right, folks, we'll see you next week and across the website and across the internet for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. And most of all, thank you at home. We'll see ya next week.